Good evening. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us this beautiful Wednesday evening here. Whatever you are, I would say thank you for being here and say happy New Year. I'm Francis and Sort of the Liberal Public Radio 10 LPR-TV. We want to welcome our viewers and listeners across the globe. Thank you for joining us here this beautiful Wednesday. That's the first editions of All Things Considered in the year 2025. My goodness. Time has fast spent, and we want to thank God for putting us across this year, this maritime. We're seeing what is happening cross country, across the globe. Things are happening. It's unusual, unexpected, very bizarre things, but it takes the grace of God to get you here. Now that you are so different than those, we saw what happened in New Orleans. Just people literally rolled into the 2025, but they don't even see the broad daylight. They saw what happened. So it takes the grace of God to get you to preserve you. So it's all good. Happy New Year to all of you, our viewers, our listeners, our followers. Your level of tolerance, resilient commitment to this network, and not just only this network, the greater portion to the Republic of Liberia. It is just amazing. You made us to learn a lot of new things in the interim while having these broadcasts on a daily basis, your interactions, your comments, your tweets, your engagement with fellow onliners, people that took different sides, which is great. But overall, it was just wonderful, because without you, we can't just be here. And we're so sorry to say this new year for us to come and not give you a break. But we do know, we are aware that you also kind of count on us as we count on you to have these critical conversations about our country. And despite of our agreement, disagreement, and some of the talking point here, what is coming from the analyst is coming from the host, the facilitator. Some of them are so annoying, but the tolerance, the political tolerance, your resilience, not about us who sit on these outlets and have these conversation. But you look at a greater pie and taking a holistic approach for the good of the country. And I know how sometimes we here, as an angle, as a facilitator, as an analyst, sound so ridiculous at times in our argument, in our thoughts, in our national conversation, without taking into considerations is about the country, but yet then still you held up to your breath. And for every time the next day when the lane goes out of your own volitions, out of your free will, you come out and for us to have this conversation. So overall, I would say that the credit is to you, not to us. It is you that get us to be going. Because some of the analysts here, they look at you in broad night where there's 24-hour current and they see the black and they say it is white, but yet it's still. But I can tell you so, the commitments of the analysts on this network, we not at network like others. You have to pay by right. They are coming here throughout the week, 2 hours, sometimes 3 hours, sometimes beyond that hour. It is the institutions that should be able to pay their expertise for providing their knowledge, their wisdom, the research, and some of them sometimes they are caught unaware. We just bring it out, but yet and still that with their smart minds, they were able to navigate through the conversations and able to bring out the best. We want to thank them so much as head of this institution without them. And that's one of the reasons I took a fight on one of the most liberal on this network. Did everything possible. Look, we need to change the nomenclature. We transition from different things, from radio biozones to Voice of GDF to Liberia Public Radio, because we felt it was a much more, what should I say, high decision that we pushed through. And we're able to make that argument why we should transition to Liberia Public Radio, because I am one of the creator, not follower, but also contributor of the National Public Radio of this country, which I was privileged. I visited their studio years back through then their health correspondent, Christian Tagule. Great lady took a tour in the studio. They were able to walk us through, and even up to this time, still talking to them. Because the National Public Radio of NPR, that NPR is everywhere, every state, is more or less, in as much government provides subsidies, but the survival in NPR is ordinary Americans from all different backgrounds. The support, you usually, I don't know about other states, but I hear the Monday, Tuesday, they always have what I call online fundraisers to reach out to ordinary Americans to make their contributions, whether $5, $10, to keep, because why they do not sanction voices, why they are not selective. What are you for, you against? It's not where somebody will come say, I have a Chinese phone, so I do not want to talk to you. They listen to both eyes. They listen to Americans. They listen to discuss critical issues. They are reporting to so much objective. What I reach 100% within your own requirement that I cannot speak to, but it's an institution that you say is fully is representative of the true reflections of this country in terms of some of the things that I talk about. So we are, I say, like, we have to model the start of these people. We have to work towards it. But what we did to here, and even on the case of NPR, we brought in people with different vice expertise in different area in terms of their professional lives. And these people also share some political ideologies in Liberia. Well, Okra, involved in multitudes of roles, scholars, teachers, engineers, people of different background, some are pastor, or you call them reverend, whatever it is, but yet the broad uniqueness. These people come here throughout the week. This is a tough thing. I'm telling you, it's a tough thing to leave your family and sit on a network, on a platform where you are not paid a dime of sharing your wisdom. And that's one of the things that we got to learn. We need to learn to do in the country. You see here, like the former presidents and people going places to speak, only like in our librarian setting. Even here, that when people call people guest speaker to convention, to reunion to speak, the guest speaker would pay his or her own way, sometimes their own hotels. But when you call people to speak to you, it's because of their background to impact knowledge, to say something, to learn from them. So by that, you should pay them. But with us, librarian setting, we don't. So then you call, or you want to tell me that you call a guest speaker, will give $1,000. No, it doesn't work like that. When you call people to talk to you, you tap into their time. They are going to make a judgment. Perhaps there were other engagement they needed to do certain things. When they are coming to you, you're supposed to honor their cause. But because of their benevolence, or because of their good way, or because we are all the same people, they are Liberians, they waive that right. It doesn't mean they don't know what they are doing. Especially when they're calling him to go places, when you go in workshop, and tell you that's more money. Go carry, go money. Because why? He's going to build up new minds, new ideas, innovations, and all of that. So they pay him. He not want to pay your own way. They say, "Oh, take it from your salary." No, it doesn't work like that. So to Mr. Boyer, the Collins, man, Amos George, I talked to him today. He's doing pretty well. The Boashins, the Porto. And the guy saying that Israel is not to the story, but who he endures to the end. So at some point in time, how this network was packed. Those are people, they are seasonal people because politics was in the highest height. So they have their own objective motive to promote whoever they wanted to promote. It's over. That is okay. But guess what? The election is over. So Terrell and Sissit, the Toto, and all of these guys, they didn't walk away, because when the process is over, that's when the real work starts. So this is where the real national conversation takes preeminence. And so they realized that even though I supported this party, I supported this individual, I'm not the partisans of this party, but because of the leadership, perhaps the seed or the beliefs the person can make a difference, I'm supporting this person, and it's still into this national conversation. So we must really, really give it up to them. Again, I know some of them, they're headache. Some of them, when they say things and you hear, you want to take 1,000 milligram Tylenol to cool down your pain. And guess what? You don't walk away. You don't give yourself NTR. You come back here to listen to us, to have this conversation. I want to thank you so much for everything that you have done, to your consistency to this network, and your talking point, the breakable. Let me recognize you people here to go into We Are Door. Happy New Year. Thank you for your commitment to this network. We really, really appreciate that. Nora Hawks, thank you. Happy New Year. To Mohammed Aliyu Jallo, thank you so much. I'm not sure whether you've been here before. This is your first time regardless. Strangers, LPR is an open media outlet. We allow voices, even if you disagree with us. That is okay. All we ask and require here is civility. We don't demean people. We don't demonize people. Sometimes we ask tough questions, all because we want to make sure what you are saying is much clearer, is good, is understood, so that the listener, to the people can know. I got paid about 23. You see that? just look at the tweet. Just for 15 minutes. 15 minutes. 2,300. 15. Other one, he left a full money. He left his the hotel, the rental car, maybe some kind of, this country, everything they tap into it. And it's because of that, sometimes we don't get the best, and we don't realize it. They get a saying that say, that way. When you avoid spending the right thing, you end up spending more than what you should because you try to play smart. So you end up getting in something that you shouldn't. By the way, this live link is also our YouTube channel, Facebook YouTube channel. You can also subscribe, follow, like. We want you to. We're going to have that discussion with the analysts, but leader, you have to take the lead. We're going to put our email out where you can send suggestions, opinions, and of course, we always this network is open to everybody. As long you believe and trust yourself, you don't have that sort of thin skin, you're willing to take the bullet. To have a miserable night, because sometimes after these shows it can be horrible because they call us name, they tell us whatever we are and all kinds of stuff. But still, the guys come out here. Okay, let me bring in the man. I get here in the other money near, so I think he has to pay some taxes to this network. You see, you check beyond A, he finished eating everything. Maybe the thing happened 4, 5, 6 months ago, but he was still IRS. When you owe them, right? Whether 4 or 5 years, you pay back taxes. So Sissy will have to pay some taxes to LPR here. Let me just bring in from Minneapolis, Minnesota. He is the year 2025, the year of blue. Oh, you mean?
I'm getting in plenty of trouble in 2025. So I already let people know that before.
You will get in plenty of trouble?
There will be plenty. I will step in plenty of
So it seems to me then that no one, even a man like the cat going to eat your own baby and
plenty of baby coming in my private thing.
This is why nobody want to hire you, because you'll be like a wandering stranger, because everywhere you go when they say do it the way you say no, this is how it's supposed to be. And like people they don't like it. Let's welcome Joyce. Joyce, thank you so much for your commitment to this network. You always follow us. We really, really do appreciate Nora Hooks, Mohammed, Esther Clark Fredericks. I don't know what to say. I don't know. I hope this 2025, Mrs. Frederick, you have made up your mind to join us here. You need to add to my voice. Other than that, the CC, the liberal, the Washingtons, the Reverend Pastor Terry, all of these people, they want to hijack this network. Bentu, good to have you here. Tom Moses, always good to have you here. Aloysius Banks, Joe Lee, Mr. Lee, happy New Year. Hopefully it's everything doing great. Wonka Duo, Marta Duki, Mr. Goya will be joining to you. Let's just give some shout out to our guys here. Rafiko Boli, Rafiko. BB needed a manufacturer name Rafiko. Breakable power. Yeah. That one of the men I fought a headache on this network. Anytime a breakable now call, Sissy. When you not call, then they show
that man was here for my lawyer. The amount of headache you give me, you're here for my lawyer.
You want 2025, like trouble is starting, you want 30 our people? Please. Peaceful, good to have you here. And insurmountable veins, all of you guys. Great to have all of you guys here. Mr. Goyot, happy New Year. And good to have you here. Thank you for all what you do. I was just saying it, and that's a fact. We're supposed to be paying people like you guys for your expertise, but on the other end, for the good of the country, the community, you always here make your time available for us to have this conversation. Good to have you here. Happy New Year.
Happy 2025 to you, my brother. And when I say that, I mean that in all it means as a true brother. You know how far we go.
Right.
Besides the screen, we meet behind the scenes, and so happy 2025 to you. I am not too well. That's why I've been away for a while. I'm dealing with toothache. I'm on 800 milligram right now, trying to come on the show just to see you and see our group and say happy 2025. But you're right. This network, to carry this network is a lot. Sometimes you, the CEO, you're running from work, running to come to start a show on time. Sometimes if I came from Sacramento, fighting with instrument to get it on because we have promised our people and they look up to us being on time. And they know the time that we come on. So even for me, when I'm not well, it bothers my soul that sometimes people still expect to kind of throw it trash for them to trash me out. That's that interaction that gets us going, like Breakable. You'll say, sister, they call my name, but at the end of the day, it's all for the love of country, right? We all believe that Liberia should move forward. We just disagree in the way to move forward. So happy 2025 to all of our fans out there. Happy 2025 to the people that come and listen to us talk a bunch of nonsense all of the time. Happy 2025 to all of you who keep us in check. Liberia has to move forward, but happy 2025 to LPR, man. Hopefully this is the year that we overtake all of the utensils network, the other people that start closing argument before opening, and the people that can eat with cold spoon. I hope this is the year where after you are starting 2025 with trouble. So don't start shaking your head. So this is the year where LPR becomes number one.
Yeah, and beyond that, I think it's fair to mention all of you guys, the financial support. And one thing we don't do, not that we don't want to do it, we have Cash App, we have Zelle. But I've always said that we have to take the lead in terms of this is what we're doing, and we become more illustrative, let it be visual, let them see it. Because I just don't feel right. Every time you come, you pull Cash Out, you hear a supporter, okay. We don't want to take for granted of Liberian people, their kind heart. Liberians say they can give. Anyone who says Liberians don't give, that's not true. It's because these people, they have gave until they give their lives, but no result. People have the tendency to give money to organization, to institution, to philanthropic group, charity, whatever it is. When they give it, gone. They would never come back to say what you gave us last year, 2 weeks ago. This is the fruit. This is without them even sending a note, a courtesy note to say, thank you. This is what you gave, but this is the outcome of this. So, and I think all of us realize that we took that into consideration. Yes, we asked people to give, but at the rightful time, maybe this year, 2025, we will have to discuss it as a group. We will take a look at it, and we will do it because I think what is important is to grab, let the audience feel comfortable of you, and that's why the diversity is on this network. Okay, so 2025. Today's what, January 1st?
Yeah, this is the birthday of plenty of people who came on resettlement change their birthday here. So happy birthday to all of y'all.
No, when that kind of war, when you use it now, then there are plenty of people you try. Say today is a New Year day. That one. Yeah.
Happy birthday to plenty of people who didn't know when they were born. They picked January 1st also for their own money to bring in. So happy
you see that one? You see, you guys always get it happy, and I think that one thing we need to try to display the views of our audience here. You see, I want to hear about our folks. They always hold people leave closing argument out of your tabata because we are the same viewers on these different platforms. Exactly.
You see the good thing, Mr. So, you see the good thing about our audience? You ain't got to call somebody me. Just throw your shit and you will know who you're talking about.
I don't want to throw anything out there. Somebody, yeah. And they have the right. They are sensitive.
But it's actually in good faith. Like even all of these networks, a lot of them they reach out, and when we have the chance, we will show up to talk about Liberia. I like to joke about them because it's in good spirit. Everybody's like I keep saying, every Liberian, there's no one Liberian that want Liberia to go backward. We all just disagree on the way to go forward. So It's in good faith though, Laura. I just be messing around, even with Spoon and all of it. I've been messing around, but my loyalty is to LPR, right? I started out on focus on Liberia. And my loyalty is here. I still show up on focus from time to time. I'll show up. I even show up on Spoon. I will even show up on closing argument when the time is right. But my number one priority is LPR because this is where I find home. This is where I find myself.
What becomes the end of that argument? Fox News can also get in the throw of CNN, call them the liberal, MLBC, and this and that. So it's no different. What becomes of that argument? I mean, this is all things considered now. What is the argument closed or it's still in continue? It's still
but we didn't even know the argument, so I wouldn't know whether I closed or open. The point of the argument is I'm thinking, I don't want for them to give me a hard time because by the time I start closing the argument, all I think you can't have me. But it's in good faith, the proliferation of media outlets. I think it's a good thing.
There you go, the Blue Barrel, CDC, Papi, Success Keita for life. Liberians are so creative. Good morning to Liberia from Duporo. Good God, please have mercy on JMB Liberia.
See what Breakable right there? I think he's dead. Breakable knows when I ever come. There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Breakable. Your loyalty is
for my lawyers.
Yeah, that's his view. That's his opinion. You see, you guys always get yourself into trouble with our audience here. You take fight with them, and at the end of the day, in the most part, sometimes they win the case.
Yeah, but okay, so the thing, and the reason I wrote change, and I wrote about good trouble is it's not even just for Liberia alone. It's also even in my own personal life here in the US. Last year I withdrew a lot from politics. I mean, I wasn't as deeply involved in politics. This year, 2025, I'm going to be heavily involved in American politics.
Why led to your withdrawal? Why?
Well, I got lazy, I got busy, and I got stretched thin. And that's one of the things, one of my resolutions I'm working on this year is to learn how to say no. So I said yes to so many things, and then I didn't have my own time. When you're talking about giving, for example, we give to so many causes, and a lot of these people don't come back to me and say thank you. But for a few, I still have a few that still come back every time to say, oh, thank you. Here's the progress we made with the little thing you gave us. Here's the progress we made with the door you opened for us. And so everybody have a nonprofit. Everybody have an organization. People duplicating the same things other people doing. And people give until they are tired, like this giving fatigue. Like you talk about Liberians are givers, but you give till you're tired, Mr. So. So it was the same thing with my political interest in the US and everywhere else. I got so busy with life. I got so busy with just saying yes and yes and yes. People call you. That thing I was telling about so it's not for a joke. I went to speak at an event. The people pay for my hotel, for me and my family. They pay for a suite. They pay for my food. They pay for mileage. They reimbursed me for mileage and gave me $2,300 to speak for 15 minutes. I left from there, went to a Liberian program to speak. I had to buy a VIP ticket to get into the place where I going to speak. And then I had to donate to them extra $500. I gave you my knowledge. I gave you money for it, right? And so this year I'm learning how to say no. A lot of people are not going to be happy with me. I'm going to have to say no to a lot of things because I need to refocus. But I think Liberia deserves a lot more from me than what I've been given. And so I want to put a lot more focus into good trouble, as in where people are doing good, you give them their kudos, and where they're doing bad, be frank and true. The usual me, but just elevate it. So I'm going to eat a lot of my own children. You know me. I don't have a loyalty to a person. My own people, I'll support you to be president tomorrow. Do something crazy, I bring you down, because it's about, at the end of the day, it's about Liberia. Whether you believe it or not, is I have a vision of how Liberia can move forward. We might not all agree on it, but we all believe that Liberia should move forward. So this year is going to be a different year, Mr. So. It's going to be a year of me saying no to a lot of things people ask me to do. And I just have to focus my attention on a few things that I think I need to do. And one of those is making sure that I'm available for LPR most of the time, and I'm available to where Liberia needs me, that I can help them from here, and not taking government job and not getting paid for it, but free from here.
I have a different version of you saying no. Would the no put a sort of what should I say? Well, it put a condition for, because when you say no, that suggests people will see that as a rejection. But hey, based on X, Y, Z, I can do this by telling them, hey, that's another way of teaching people. I mean, that's my side. Okay, so let's, for example, to call you to speak. Yeah, okay, I'm willing to speak. What is in it? Because sometimes you have to babysit people if it requires, if they can use their common sense, good judgment to say, okay, my man, so say, so we want you to come, but this is what we can afford. And they just say, oh, okay, that man there, that man we know who he is in Minnesota, he's making plenty of money. By right, he didn't want, to get it kind of, I don't know what they call by right. I don't know what make it right. That yeah, in fact, he the one supposed to get money. We can't give him money, and they just throw it. Don't you think it's fair to tell them, hey, this is what I can do. This is what I can do.
But I think that's the thing I'm trying to get at. So let me give you some example. People hear that I'm a teacher, and a lot of organizations will reach out to you and say, "Oh, we need curriculum." And Mr. So, I will tell you, there's been, oh, sorry, please forgive my queen in the basement with me. So she's hanging with me. But there have been times where I've collected educational materials, textbooks. I had to rent storage facilities. People tell me, oh, we need textbooks, we get it. You get the materials, they don't come for it. You rent U-Haul facilities, storerooms for these people. Sometimes for 6-7 months. And I have to abandon it to U-Haul and other places and some of these storages. I've kept people things in my garage where I can park my car because they told me, oh, you get it for us, we get it here. You get it, don't get it. Right? People ask you for these things, you go out of your way and you try to do them. Sometimes at home, I need to babysit my daughter. People invite me, you leave and you go. I have to drive my daughter somewhere else and go run somewhere else, and you get there. They don't start on time. They don't do the things that they need to do. So for me, it's that's the point I'm going. Is people ask you and they abuse your generosity. I hope you understand what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
People recognize what you're capable of doing and they ask you for it, but then they abuse it. And so now what is happening to me is when you ask me for textbooks, I don't create textbooks, Mr. So I have people too that I go to and say, hey, can you get me this? When those people get me those things and I give it to somebody else and they never hear back directly, it creates a problem for me in their relationship, right? And we did that for a lot of government officials that came there over the past time. We opened doors for them to senators and other places. When they leave, that's the end. They don't even communicate with those senators. They don't communicate with the representatives and say, oh, thank you. It just shut down. So the next time the next person comes, they ask you to open those doors, you're afraid to even knock on that door because the last people that were here have been so ungrateful. You understand what I'm trying to say? So that's what I'm trying to get to say. I'm going to learn how to say no. Because saying yes too much is also affecting some of my own personal relationships.
Okay, as you know, this all things considered, we're going to look at ourselves, our own commitment in the past and moving forward. History is all about the past and moving forward. So we're going to be shifting here and there, and we hope to open to activate the lines as well. And we want as much callers. And if for any reason, if you're comfortable, you want to join the live field, just let us know, throw a message right on the live field. Once you're in a comfortable, safe position, not driving, organized area, you want to be parked, that's okay as well. All right, 2025.
Breakable picking for me. Breakable my eye hitting, but I am wearing dark shades for me. But the things I'm gonna take let them I'll be waiting for you. You and my lawyers will have some conversation this year.
Why you want to be threatening? Because no, I think that when we come here, we always try to look, the best way you can. If you have any eyes issue, I don't think nothing wrong with that. Breakable just concerned he wants to, Breakable is. I don't know why you're always surrounded to Breakable. He always managed to lay here on you guys. I don't think you need to put stress on your eye. If the glasses is okay, he understands. But so 2025, 2024. I want us to start with ourselves in terms of what we do with the media. Let's take a little bit review here in terms of the media, be it LPR, NPR, the spoon, the argument, the Palava Hall, the Judah High Top, and the list goes on. Even in Liberia, what you make of the media conversations with respect to what is going on in Liberia, be it politics, social issue. I'm telling you, since a few days, 2 or 3 days ago, I mean, I've been saying it, but this one took off my time. It was like all night I was watching it. This guy, DHO something. It's a group. I don't know. I didn't see their number. I will have to go back. Maybe the number, I missed the number. That goes out in the community. These folks, unprivileged people, call them Zocos, the war-weary people, to say what I saw and some of the stories that I listened to. We have a very, very serious problem. People live in graveyards. I mean, it's not strange. Uh, it's all over teenagers, and some of these people, their stories, if you listen to them, it's heartbreaking. Are we as a people, as a country? Because in the absence of reintegrating these people in society, it will be a challenge for national government. It will be a challenge to root out crimes. It will be a challenge for drugs, because I mean, the damage that was done to that country as a result of the civil crisis. I don't know what are people, the leaders, representatives, senators, national leaders, different organizations, philanthropic organizations, whether they see these things, or they don't see it, or they have visited it. But do you think we have done enough, we as a media group, for the good of the country, or what?
No, I don't think so. I think where we failed at as a nation was in what was the IGNU, Interim Government of National Unity, the late Professor Amos Sawyer, and all of the PhDs that they had in there. I remember I was in Liberia where they had all these trauma healings and trauma counselings, and there was a lot of money pouring into the country for trauma. What they focused on was not 100% of what they should have focused on. They focused on the ex-combatants, and they made it voluntary. And to some point, they incentivized it. What they forgot is that it wasn't only the combatants or people who actively participated in the war were the ones that were traumatized. There were people who witnessed traumatic events, like the civilians and the children, and those people were kept out of the trauma healing program to a larger extent, because we're incentivizing people, because the intent was to disarm people, right? And so fast forward with the many interim governments, and the alien administration comes in, and we just forget that there is a thing called historical trauma, even in these United States. There are African Americans that are still dealing with the trauma of slavery, because they got passed on to them by their great grandparents, right? They themselves weren't slaves, but they're still dealing with that with that trauma. And so we just pretended in Liberia like when we just thought a few combatants and we gave them money, we did a gun, we did it for 2 weeks, trauma is done. And we tried to run Liberia like any other normalized country, and we're not a normalized country because we have fought wars where we saw family members into death, other family members. We were intermarried in Liberia, you know that. Tribes were intermarried. We had inter-tribal relationships, and uncles and aunties, and all of those were stressed. And so instead of us going back and using our own traditional ways of making peace, we decided to westernize the process. And so now you still have people you call Zogos who are still dealing with that trauma. Look, Mr. So, in the school system that we deal with that. When you create poverty, or when poverty gets created in one generation, whether it was through drug use, whether it was through crimes, or whether it was through whatever, a dad or a mom stopped and they became poor, that affects about 2 or 3 generations before they can get out of it. And this is within the United States where there are resources to support. Imagine Liberia. So to talk about those people, I've seen those videos where they on Center Street and stuff, they're talking about a ghost talking to them, and the spirit can be some people, and the other spirit is a musician, and when you're there, they like you do this.
You saw it.
That is a psychological thing, Mr. Soul. But what we have done is we try to turn a blind eye to those people for many years. This is not a Joseph Boakai thing. It's not a George. It's not anything. It started all the way back. But who is going to take the bull by the horn and say, we have to do something drastically? These people have to be forced into therapy, Mr. Soul. Because you can't be asking for security when you have a lot of your citizens walking down the street that are still communicating with ghosts and living in graveyards. This is sad. How many investors want to bring millions of dollars to invest in the country where your citizens in the middle of the street are talking with ghosts in the middle of the night? Mr. So will you put your money in that kind of an economy? If you truly, unless you just going to steal, right, and rob the economy, like most people come for the gold and the diamond, they don't care, right? But if you're actually truly about the society in which you invest in, nobody wants to invest in that. And so that is the problem we're having in Liberia. And I think it's going to require a lot more than people taking sides. People coming on the closing argument and taking their side, on LPR taking their side, on Spoon taking their side, and everywhere else. This is going to require an actual patriotic movement, and say it doesn't matter. Is Zogo, is a sedition, it's a UPIS, it's an LPP person, it's everybody. Above all, they're Liberian. How do we ensure that we get them past that? Because remember, those people are having kids in those graveyards, Mr. So, and those children have to end up in schools. Who's going to care for their mental health?
Even if they don't go to school, who they are, what they becomes in society.
That's the point. And our schools equipped to deal with those kids that are coming. If your parents hire you in a graveyard and you enter the school building, are our teachers equipped? Or because I know in most of the schools now they have counselors. Our guidance counselors in Liberia equipped to deal with the trauma their kid is coming with and be able to educate them. We're not focusing on those. And so those children will come into a school and feel like they don't fit in, Mr. So. And so in 1 year, 2 years, they drop out. Because they don't fit in. There's nobody that understands them. Nobody understands that my mom and my dad have me in the graveyard when they talk to a ghost. Nobody understands that. But we expect you to come and behave like all the other kids that come from other homes when you don't have the same problem like those other kids. And so for me, like I said, 2025 is the year of more trouble because I'm going to be calling out all of those agencies and institutions that need to be doing their work. We can't afford to have some citizens invisible. We can't see them. And we can only see certain population of our country. We can't afford to do that.
So on the media side here, is said that we have not, politics have drawn us into it because politics seems to be the dominant decision-making process in our lives. So on the other hand, we are just caught in the middle because it is the politicians, they are the policy maker, decision maker, they affect our lives. They are the one that direct the directions of the country and all of that. But is the media not doing enough to bring to light these people, or it is the same the Liberian syndrome? Or and I care what happened, they will not leave it. In fact, that's who that's how they're gonna be. So this been seen as a complete rejection to society, to their community, to their own country, disconnect with the government. They are left alone. And that doesn't even help because that becomes a huge liability, not just only on government, but your society, your community, and its people, because these people that live from those places, they come out. If they can't get it, what do? You, the passerby, they might potentially end up jumping on you or snatch your phone or your bike and run in there. And obviously you can't go there to go get it because when you go in there, you're gonna know the outcome of it. But why national government and the society, all of these organizations, why a national sort of national campaign? Just imagine if you just want to take Morovia alone. You don't even go Pikena, you don't go Ganta, you don't go Lofa, you don't go Grange, Sino, all of those places, because all of these people actively participated directly, indirectly. The worst instances that still have that trickle a lot of things. And we're not doing anything. If I say we as a society, as a community, government, and everybody, we're not doing anything, and we have those people there. What are we doing to ourselves?
So let me give you an example, Mr. Sok. Lofa County is one of the fewest counties that have an actual electoral district for Mandingo people. Kwaruboni. Electoral district, a whole electoral district. It's almost like how we draw the electoral lines here in the US, where we say in some state there have to be a particular place for Black and brown people to have somebody that represent them, right? So you draw that electoral map. In Lofa County, we got Kwaruboni. Before the war, the Mandingo people are considered uncles to the Loma people. And people who don't understand, Loma is a derivative of Mandingos. We came from Mandingo people. And so for a very long time, we all lived together in harmony in Lofa County. Mandingo Mekan, Loma will say Keke. That's my uncle. We give them spaces. We all live there together. We have Mandingo in my village, in my town. I'm from Zolowo. We had a Mandingo quarter. We call it Mandingo quarter. Whenever they're breaking fast, we'll be out there beating the drum in the middle of the night. We're all within fast with them, but we'll go break the fast with them. We're eating food.
The bloody food gonna be there now.
When they come to the work outside, when they're not member of the society, they will go inside. So we had that relationship, that understanding. We live in harmony, respecting one another's cultures. The war came. It pitted Loma people in my town and against Mandingo people. People that had lived together intermarried. There were these Mandingo people that had married Loma wives, and there were some of these Loma people that had married Mandingo wives. And they had children that were both Loma Mandingo. And people murder people. To this date, it has been difficult for us to go back and sit with our brothers and sisters and say, let's come back. How do we come back together to be Lofians? I saw the president doing that with the Kisi people recently. I will hope that somebody can do that with the Mandingo people and the Loma people and everybody and bring them back together. We haven't done that. So that thing still exists to the point that you have a Lofa associations in America, and you would not get people from Kwaruboni to come there. Instead, they have the Mandingo Association. It is not their fault. We have not created a room and an avenue for us to get back together and say we are all one people. And that is the bigger problem. So to talk about the issue of the Zogos, in my village, way far away removed from Monrovia, there are Zogos in Zolowo. My father's in Liberia, just telling me. He said people get high. There's the drug use in the village is so high. The rate of addiction in the village is higher than in Monrovia.
Oh.
So a lot of these guys have stopped going to school, stopped making fun. They ride bikes. That's all they do. They go to the golf and they just get high. Imagine you are in Lofa County, and you have to come to Banga to buy a bag of rice to survive to go eat instead of making fun.
The Lofa County that I knew.
You go come to buy a bag of rice, and so people are just looking at this thing on the surface, but this is something that is a threat to our nation. This thing has to be addressed. The issue of what happened during the past, the issue of how we as a nation are traumatized, how do we move forward? We all have to be involved in it, but sadly, media houses, a lot of us have taken sides. And our sides is tinted by our political ideology. Because I support Tiawa Gongo, if Tiawa Gongo does something wrong, I should not chastise him. That is wrong. And my brother has never told me that's why Tiawa Mato got a very good relationship, because when you go left, I will correct him right away. I will not hide it to correct him. But there are a lot of us who take sides in many things. When people do say, oh, I will not turn, I don't want it because I don't want to affect the relationship that I have with this person. And so then we do not point out where people are going wrong, Mr. So. And so when you talk about LPR and Spoon and Closing Argument and Freedom FM and LBS and everywhere else that we find ourselves, people have taken sides and they have cemented themselves in those sides. And so it's so difficult for you to even look over the other side, for you to even see good coming from the other side. Because I don't support CDC, so I never see anything good coming out of CDC. It's almost like the question, can anything good come out of Nazareth? Because I don't support Joseph Waka, so I see nothing good coming out of the Unity Party. And so it's very difficult And as a result of that, our politicians play on them, Mr. So that's the reason when they go to the Capitol, when they talk about budget, they don't bring in people who get specifically harmed by the way they do the budget process. They don't bring in Zogos to testify in front of the committee that say how much money you need to put into social welfare and into recovery. Because if you brought those people to tell you how they're seeing ghosts and talking to spirits in the graveyard, it will change your mind. But we decide we just throw a rocket ticket, we'll get 7 million to education, we'll get 5 million to agriculture, we just do it as rocket ticket because we don't bring in the people who are being affected. And that's because we play on the politics of the day. That it doesn't matter whatever you decide, Mr. So, somebody in the bro will defend you to the die.
And just to add layer in terms of these people making the convincing argument why they need this $1 million to do whatever they can do, like the issue, perfect example, because that one, it's just a matter of coming out of Capitol, talking about the fightings of drugs. You have those people visible everywhere. If you could just even pass by mistake, just pass by Center Street graveyard there, and just grab 2-3% people of different age range, just to illustrate and make their argument. You will see women there, you will see teenagers there, you're going to see men there, and just put those people, take them to Capitol. The reason DAE or the reason social and whatever protections, we need more counselings, and we need people, mental health experts and all of that, and take these people there, take them there, and let the lawmakers, because they know it, they see the board. For whatever reason, politics has become the order of the day, and it's unfortunate. Much is not being done. The part by the people just give them that needs, stigmatize them, becomes like people who are not even Liberians. And I'm glad you listened to what I was talking about. And if you listen to someone, you listen to the other one the girl who said the late child was 6 years old, was brought to town. The father died, left with the mother. Stepmother. Stepmother said, well, the man who brought you, he's not longer here. Turn her over to a different person, this person going out to get money, not knowing how this person getting money. Later on told her, hey, you can't always be sitting there like a dressing mirror. You got to go out there to get, and only to realize this lady that was going out, she was more or less involved in prostitution. And that's how that little child got involved, because she herself needed to survive. Now, government is, and this is why I always frown on when lawmaker, people graduating from our Zogo, 10% graduated from something in the out. Complete nonsense. Let's be honest. Because if you're no longer a senator representative, trust me, you would never, that institution. So government is the controller, and it's the one. It's not like this country. You have different groups of people, organizations outside of government that would come and intervene, go into places. But Liberia, third world countries, it's government that makes the hierarchy. So when will national government, what do we need to do as a people, as a society, that we will compel government to do what is right? And why these people who will come as will be there for you, and started way back. And then at the end of the day, they themselves somersault 360 degrees and end up doing nothing. When will we come to the realization that indeed there must be a real national rehabilitation, not just only rehabilitation, reintegration of people in society, because that will bring stability in the country. If we can't achieve that, we are on a time bomb, because these people, like the man who was done fear no fault, they are already rejected. Like you listen to the other young man, he was crying. I mean, real grown-up man. Yes, okay, we all make mistakes. People deserve to have second chances in life. I know it's difficult, and you can see, listen to some of them. It's hard. I try to leave it, but when I leave it, my stomach and this and that, it might sound hilarious, it might sound something, but that's the addiction. That's it. It doesn't mean because it happened, we should just let society just leave it like that.
So, Mr. So, You know, there's a lot in there. But number one, how do we change national government? Remember the Parkland shooting in Florida? It happened after so many, the school, Parkland High School shooting. It happened after so many shootings that happened. And these young kids, there are some people that went to Congress because of that, got up in the street and said, don't shoot. And they organized protests around the country. And they went to Congress here in the US to force them to have this conversation. The issue of opioid, where you have a lot of these drug manufacturers have to pay billions of dollars in fines. But because these very politicians started to see their family members getting affected, and other family members make sure that their children were not going to stay hidden. They were going to bring them to the capital. You will see the effect of this on my children. They will not be invisible. And they're forced people in this country. And that is why when I said 2025 is a year of good trouble for me, is the next time there is a budget hearing, the next time there is a budget, we're gonna organize and pay for people to go to the capital, Zogos to go to the capital and sit down. You're not going to disrupt, but let these people see who you are, what they are voting on, whether they will get $14,000 per month or whether they will put $10,000 to rehabilitate you. But let them see you.
You are making a proclamation on this network.
That is what we're going to be doing. We're going to raise money for that.
Is there a same continuations of politics here, or will that be? Because I just want to make sure I know who you are, but we are also on an obligation, people that sits under the sounds of our voice, to who are accountable. You're wearing dark shades. I don't know, because we're not seeing your eye. This is why you're making that statement. Okay. This is serious. And if this is the case, we all have hands to do that, because these people ask government, national government, for monies on a false pretense. We're going to do this, we're going to do this. And two, when they ask for these monies, whether it's less or small, you got to tell us how many people benefited for what you asked for and why you even need more. But that is not happening. On the other side, national government, central government, because there are people who controls them too, they do not follow through, they give it and they just let them to go. No one is being held accountable. That's one of the things in the country there. So it's a difficult one. The country is polarized, is divided. And hearing this from you, know who you are, making this sort of proclamation here. The viewers, our people are listening. Breakable Power, one of trucks me, he making a on a serious note, that is a valid point.
But Mr. So that is the point. We understand that we don't have a lot of resources in Liberia, right? The money is scarce and we have many competing needs. But the one thing we're going to focus on is, if you're going to pass a budget, you are going to see the people that your budget affects. There is a former senator from Minnesota, the late senator from Minnesota, Paul Wellstone, that used to say, a budget is a moral document, Mr. So. You fund where you find morally acceptable. And so if you are going to tell us that the only money you got to rehabilitate our brothers and sisters is $10,000, fine, but see them. Let them see you, see them, vote in conscience. You're not going to vote beyond where you don't see them. You're voting in a room that is air conditioned and there's no Zogo in there, and you are voting on healthcare. There's no mother in there or that had lost her daughter to death while giving birth, or no father in there who has lost both the mother and the child while the mother was giving birth in a village that lacks medical care or lacks a midwife. If you're going to have a budget hearing on a healthcare delivery system, we're going to have nurses there to tell you what are the issues they're dealing with. We're going to have people who have had to live with the trauma of not having access to healthcare. Listen to all these people as you make the decision. That's all we're saying. If you're still going to vote for your $5 to put into healthcare, fine. But we are going to make you see an evidence. The people can say that, back. You will see the back evidence of that. If you are going to vote on how you deal with child care, child protection, and you're going to put $5 in there, we're going to bring to you an 11-year-old that got raped and tell us if the $10 you put in there is enough to take care of their child and their trauma. And if you still vote on it, fine. But we know you now that you voted that $10 is enough for this 11-year-old girl that got raped. Because so too often people are voting on national budget and national agenda, and they're not seeing or hearing from the people that this thing is being affected by. It's almost like you taking me in America here in my basement, fully heated, and trying to talk about what happened to somebody in Lofa County and to vote on it. I am far removed from it. I'm far removed from it. So I have a luxury of trying to intellectualize the person's suffering. We are not going to do that anymore in there, bro. No more will we sit down and allow people to intellectualize the suffering of the people. Those people will come. We're not saying that they still will not vote the way they voted, but we will pull it in their face, see the person's face as you're voting against them. When we talk about education and access to education, see no children on the street. And now where you buy the grumpy for them, you go by eBay or you get it, so going to attend that and you put on your Facebook page. We will bring them. We're not going to disrupt your sessions. We're not going to be rude. They will sit there for you to see them and listen to their stories. And so that you know that your budget affects their lives.
All right. Okay. Yeah, James, I'm sending the, let me just send you the link. I don't know why I didn't include you. Just get ready. I'm sending you the link, Mr.
You know, Mr. So while you're sending there, you know, there was something that happened. You kept talking, you kept skipping my mind, you know, about if we don't take care of our brothers and sisters that call Zogo today, it affects all of us. 2013, early government, I went to Liberia. I was armed robbed in my own house. There were 11 armed robbers that took over my house. And so I got cut in the hair. I had to have 6 stitches in my hair. I had to evacuate quickly back to the U.S. because the way they post saw my hair at JFK, my brain was getting swollen. While in Liberia, I had to come back to the U.S. real quick.
Wow.
So people and folks need to live. Let's get this right. In America, you go to the inner cities where people are struggling, they will rob you the same way. They rob you the same way. So our country is so small. We're so interconnected. We have a unique ability to resolve our issues and to be able to care for those people who the war has come and affected. Unfortunately, we allow partisan politics to affect us. Like, for example, you talk about healthcare and education. I've never seen or heard any time where somebody went to JFK and somebody asked them, are you CDC or UPIS or LPP partisan? No, they treat you. And I don't know teachers in government school that ask kids what are your path for CDC or LPP or Unity Party when they help you with education. So why is it that when we talk about funding, we can have space to do the politics. We can talk. I still fundamentally disagree with other political parties and we'll argue that. But when it comes to how do we fund the way we move forward, I think that has to be devoid of whether I hold a political allegiance to a person or whether I hold an allegiance to my country. And I think that's where we miss it out a lot of the time is we prefer the allegiance to the person and the political party over the country.
Okay, we're going to be mixing it here. Hey, James, check your email here. And if you see under the headline here, it's your expectations for national government fiscal year 2025. Let me just ask you, we all have our own thoughts here. Let's take a little reflection of 2025, and that would be a politics. What was the perhaps decision, actions, or something that you've said? I wish I would have said this. I know myself as a system going out in the game of politics. Is there anything on top of your head that you recall, you remember, maybe you throw out there because somebody managed to get on your skin and you say, oh no, because we sometimes we realize or we throw things out there before we come to our senses. I shouldn't have said this, but it's already out here. We try to put the past behind us here. Is there anything that you think, do you think you've defended something wrongfully on this network or any other network? Let's be honest. Now you take out your glasses and more much. Let me bring in Terry Collins.
I don't know about defending something that I've seen as wrong. I think where I find my fault, and I was in a meeting quite recently. It was about politics, and they were asking about Liberian candidates that have run before in American elections. I've run before and I lost, and some of the things we did wrong, and how do we think that affected our run and in the way our results came out. And I said one of the mistakes that I made was I intellectualized my campaign. I was running for school board as the only teacher in the entire race that knew more than anybody in the entire race. I wrote it in Brooklyn Park, Brooklyn Center. A lot of Liberian people. But what I did wrong was I took data. I was telling the Liberian people at the door that all of the schools in the area that serve the Liberian population the most are failing. It was a compelling argument to have with other people. But with my Liberian people, I did not plant the seed because you know in Liberia, when you go to school, your child fails, that a child fall, right? You door. That's not the school problem. And so people were interpreting that with the training fitting out of school being it. And the training fitting, how do I interpret it? I didn't tell them that the reason your children are failing is because the school is not giving them resources, they're giving them less qualified teachers, and because they have less qualified teachers. So I didn't lay that out. It is the same thing that's happened on a lot of platforms. As I come here, sometimes I talk about issues like even with the speaker things and stuff, we talk about the Constitution, we intellectualize it so much that sometimes people think we're defending things, but it's not a defense. It's just saying, here's what things are. So that is some of the fault that I have. And that's one of the things I'm working on is how do I come on a network and not try to be the mathematician Sisi Goya or the professor Sisi Goya, whatever name people give me, is how do I speak to people so they understand exactly where I'm going? You know, this professorial intellectualizing stuff, we have to get from it because sometimes when you intellectualize stuff so much, people get fatigued. They want to hear exactly, well, how does this affect me? Right. And so, when you, for example, the speaker thing, we talked about it for a long time. I wasn't in favor of the majority, whatever, we kept talking about it, but we did not come down to talk on the way we should have talked. So when you ask me what are one of those things that I take as an opportunity for growth from 2024 is how I talk about the issues. We got to get away from that because I understand that a lot of people that listen to us in Liberia don't care about the intellectualization of the process. They care more about how is it affecting me? Tell me. It's the same mistake we made at the doors when we're running here in America, where the white man will understand when I talk about the data and say the schools are failing. But our Liberians, the way schools run is when your child failed, I'm in school for. Right? Why I come out and say, oh, plenty children fail in your school. But when school, I can't say, but I plenty of children went to the school. And so looking at the school itself, we bring the children. And so we didn't bring our people along. And so I think that's one of the mistakes that I've made on this platform and so many other platforms is bringing the people along to understand where we're getting.
Okay, what a true mind opener. Let me welcome the Minnesota politicians / the Reverend, the pastor, moderates.
I'm a bishop, but I'm pastor. Don't bring a man down.
Oh, he has been ordained as a bishop? Which church?
Don't mind says you know it says that 14 billion.
Okay, Mr. Collins.
Happy New Year, man.
Yeah,
Happy
New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, I'm not sure you were listening, but first of all, before you just come in, I want to say in this public space, thank you ever so much. I've said that to say it. I would say that you add an extraordinary value into the national discourse of what we do here on LPR, and there was no mistake by you accepting our offer to be an analyst here. You've been a long-term follower, you're making regular phone calls, making your points, and there was something that prompted me, hey, I need to reach out to this guy here because we need to, some people got to reach out. What do you want in here? We've been having a good conversation now. I can't wait to share the transport everything here this evening. Yeah, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, look at the liberal welcome. So, Mr. Collins, again, on behalf of this network, leadership, all of us are in leadership. And I will say here, it doesn't matter somebody's here, but we all make decisions here. Your support, everything, coming here, sitting here 2 hours, literally almost like 7 days in a week.
Right.
It burns people out. It's not easy. But you kept doing it, names callings and all of that. That is okay. But thank you so much for having you here, and I will always be able to. Let's bring in Mr. James Akoe. Is also a former broadcast, former with the State Broadcasting Corporation. He has volunteered to always be here with us. Nothing comes so easily, but Mr. James Akwe is here this evening. So, Mr. Akwe, good evening. Good to have you here.
Okay, let me take the time out to commend you. Kudos to you and the entire crew. Yes, you are right. My name is James Akwe, and former, I don't know if I should say former journalist at the Liberal Broadcasting System, where I work as one of the editors there in the newsroom. But yes, I'm super elated at least to be here so that we can be able to discuss on issues, especially those that relate to how well we can be able to move our country forward. Thank you.
Okay, it's is it possible to your device? Can it be flipped over to having the horizontal landscape form? Is that possible, or you can do that?
Well,
yeah, to have it in the landscape form. But if it is not workable, that's okay. We can work on that. Okay, there you go. All right, you see, yeah, good to have you. All right, thank you. Let me do it. Okay, and of course, the liberal himself, one of the founding member. He's a guy paint in the neighborhood. He's a very good guy. Sometimes when he gets me up, when I'm upset and I want things done for the board to push and he can't push it, then I tell you, say, okay, when you come to Rhode Island, I will be you. Then he will come here as an older person to leave it behind the scene. He will come here and say, the man said, when I go there, he will be me. But again, no bad way for the other person. The Liberal Progressive, I want to say thank you so much. You're one of those who get us to be what we are doing here. Your temperament beyond other things, sounding ridiculous on some of your argument, that's a different thing. But people, they talk to you off camera. Your temperament, the patient, I don't have time for that. And I think that where you and myself, we can fall. You can do that, but you quite do something. Yeah, because I want to get things going, boom, boom, and you want to do it that kind of way. But overall, Liberal Progressive Sam Center, I want to first thank you so much for all of these years. How many years now? Literally 14. We've been in this thing when Facebook Live was nowhere around. Sometimes we look at the list of things that we buy. You look at it, you feel bad for yourself. Buy the other wire, you can't wait, then you buy the other wire. But Liberal, good to have you here. I love your shirt. Can you give me that for New Year, my man?
Thank you, Mr. So, for welcoming. Happy New Year to everybody. Happy New Year to me. Happy New Year to something to. Thank you. Look, Mr. So, are you Tabata? You talking LPR here? The board. You're trying to praise the board chairman tonight because we're constituting some sort of a committee. But this new year coming, so you were watching your performance. Your salary gonna be based.
We auditing again on other report.
No, don't bring audit. I don't want the man to mess me up tonight. Because don't bring that audit business up. But anyway, look, Mr. So, thank you very much, LPR. We try to do the best here on this platform, and I think one of the things that I really enjoy, is the young people that are on here. They're very intelligent, and when you have a conversation with them, and they're not backing down. They believe in themselves, and they say so. Terry will come out here from day one on the speakership. He's been predicting and everything. I come and say again tonight. Man, Terry, everything that come true. So people, they say whatever they hear to talk about, and the people believe in it as well. Look at Sissy Goyer, smart, intelligent young man. But when he comes out here, he bring out issues that affect people, daily life. That's the kind of conversation we have here. And then, of course, the liberal is loved by plenty of people, including my Esther, Breakable Powell. They love me. No, people love me. The Teramazi Sedition, they love me. So, I mean, Mr. So, this new year coming, I think I told you this morning, I'm not going to retire. I'm staying. And here on this platform, I can retire from work, but on this platform, I'm staying. In fact, speaking about buying things, Mr. So it's ridiculous what we have done over the last 15, 16 years. You go to the station manager basement right now, you won't even have a place to step up some of the things. You go to your own area, things we buy. You come here, things, I mean, it's just ridiculous. But that's how you improve situation. That's how you improve the type of broadcasting system that we have here. So I want to thank you as well as a CEO. We try other CEO. I don't want to name names because they're all right now, they're all up there. We try other CEO, and everything they try to do is to monetize this platform here. They say they want to make people to pay people to be your guest, or you got to pay in order to be a panelist on this show. And you put your foot down. You said no. If the person comes in, we invite them to give Liberian people information. Why do you have to pay them? Only if they say, look, I want you to do a special program. That's a different issue. But those people, and I know you know what I'm talking about, they wanted us to ask the panelists themselves to pay to give their opinion. It's unacceptable. And your idea back then, 14, 15 years ago, holds true today. Because someone who's coming on here to offer their opinion, why would that person pay just to offer their opinion? For what? What LPR got? LPR that gold mine? People got to pay to can't talk? No. Honor Mr. So, LPR now gold mine. Of course, I really your conservative idea have taken us in a different direction. But I'm glad I have the northern liberal that you can't trust much, but they are the northern liberals, and they will come to your defense one time and then they throw you in a hole another time. Those are the people from what's his name, Mondale. Reagan just lied to you.
You must ask African about us.
Yeah, okay. He said Reagan just lied to you. He will raise your taxes, but I will not lie to you. I mean, he will not. He tell you he will not raise your taxes, but he lie. He will raise your taxes. But I, Walter Mondale, will raise your taxes. And that was the end of the campaign.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. So let's have a wonderful show.
I'm glad true confection is taking place of my argument then and now is coming to pass. It is what it is. Okay, but gentlemen, Sister Rita, good evening. Happy New Year, by the way, today. And let me not start before the liberal and I'll go in there. Okay, Mr. Akon, good to have you here as well, Terry.
Yes. This
LPR,
hold on, Mr. So this LPR been together for a very long time. There are some things that get LPR going in terms of knowledge, giving us some. I'll leave it that one because if I touch that one tonight, the show's sport. I will leave it like that.
You better don't go back there because I have my mouse here.
Oh, the one I say I will leave it. I say I will leave it. Go ahead.
Then we start experiencing network problem.
Oh yeah. You know, hey, get Chinese phone. I get Chinese mouse. So Terry, good to have you here. Like I said to all of you guys, I think we have been doing ourselves the service in terms of not having meeting, and I take full responsibility. As a group, I think we need to be having regular meetings. Most of you, the CC has talked that over and over. But you know, when you sleep somewhere before, when you see Casals next day dry leave, then you just don't want to go there because of something. And that was a wrong judgment on my part because of other people past stuff and end up dashing at you. But I think that was unfair. But trust me, this coming new year, we're going to have a conversation as to where do we want to take this. Is it just something we want to do for entertainment, or do we want to engage the national discourse in Liberia? Part of that to make our presence felt. Our presence is there, but much greater in terms of maybe the FM versions or some. We have worked with a lot of radio stations, but they want us to do it their way. And it's dangerous because when you feel on someone, they more or less regulate your movement. They will want to regulate your talk, what to say, what not to say. And I don't want to be a person. I start talking something, then you start sending me text and no, don't talk that one here. But let me have my own. That when I say it, if whoever want to take decisions, that decisions is their decision. I don't want to put other people into a fault. We want to talk that. Okay, so Terry, this
Yeah,
is
but
all. Mhm. Yeah, go ahead, James.
yeah, Mr. So I don't know, but somehow and sometimes I don't think you blame the media institutions and the rest of it, because I want to believe that there are set rules and guidelines and the rest of it that they have to work in, that they have to operate, so I mean it posts, I mean, you, and in a particular situation, because quite frankly, there are things that you want to double dose on, you want to come down on heavy, but then they too have, I mean, their own rules. They want to have
Right.
their own mandate. They too have their own do's and don'ts, So I
Okay.
mean, it's a very tricky part.
Tricky part going to be coming to you after Terry. I want to come to you. Your days with the State Broadcasting Corporation, and what we are saying today to draw that a little bit contrast. I think that's very much important. But Terry, let me just come to you. Thank you so much here. Look, 2024 is gone. We are in 2025. What is your own expectations when it comes to national government for the fiscal year? Is very much important. And what do you think you need to even fix, work on? You as an analyst, maybe you've been arguing some things here, not right, not being honest to the audience. We too should be held accountable. I think this is strictly across the board. We want to talk about people, we don't want other people to talk about. That is unfair. Let me hear you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. So. And again, the Libra, I also want to appreciate Libra, because Libra too have been here consistently to conduct this show. Is not easy, every day. It's a huge thing. Yeah, and the Libra is not a young boy like us. Younger, he's much older, and to handle the platform is not easy, So I want to also appreciate Libra and you, CEO, your diplomacy. You are a very diplomatic figure, and that alone is a combination of the color that make LPR to be a beautiful network. But however, thank you for having us. Thank you for allowing us, believing in us. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to share our opinion on the platform. You and Libra, we're ready and highly appreciate that. However, to the issue of Bay, Liberia is at a crossroad. This now is the opportunity for President Boycott to take the bull by the horn. The 1 year is over. Politicians are coming in to say, look, your honeymoon have ended. We're now going to be aggressive on you and all of that. So President Boycott needs to look in that direction. I, too, is going to be holding him by the horn to deliver. My expectation for him will be high this year, because I believe 1 year has passed and elapsed going forward and all of that. I also want to appreciate my senior brother, Cecil God, too, that have been contributing to the Minnesota school and also to LPR Network. He's very, very astute, and I learn from him, too, most of the time on the show when we share ideas and all of that. So, yeah, my own accountability, I, too, have accountability to readjust myself from I do have ministry running, both in Liberia and here. I got to take accountability for that, too. I got online ministry in America here and in Liberia. Got some ministry work going on. But on LPR, I think we need to redirect the conversation to being balanced. We don't need to be.
Can you repeat yourself, please?
He wants LPR to be balanced.
Yeah, we need to be balanced with
balance depend on the fulcrum, and the fulcrum here depend which side I want to push the job. So don't
simple machine.
Yeah, exactly. Why would be balanced when President Baka is doing so much good in the country that his overwhelming good is way heavier than the opposition, and you want some sort of a balance here. Okay, but go ahead. Those are your views. Go ahead.
Talking the Liberal king will fire. But you see you wearing the CDC something. Then you looking at the Thomas Falato there.
No. Lofa County.
Wow.
Oh, let me go change my clothes. Let me go change my clothes.
You see, this moment is interesting. So, yeah.
Mr. So, I love the introduction, of course, of my brother when he spoke of being balanced, and being objective. I mean, it's just one of the many kudos, of course, of journalism, that when we engage into information dissemination, we should be fair, we should be balanced, and that we should be objective, and looking at all sides of the stories. I mean, those are things we learned years back from Professor Joe Walter. I mean, we live with it, we practice it, and it's with us, wherever we found ourselves and whatever we find ourselves doing, especially when it comes to the issue of news, reportage, and the rest of it. So yes, I agree with the brother. Let's be balanced and let's be objective.
Okay. Well, sorry, before you end, this is not, that's Joseph. You're gonna say that's Joseph from CBC.
I'm just kidding, man. But you still look sharp. They
may want to change. They may want to change.
I say, Labor don't man, the people know say they know my uncle Fala and my uncle Sam would be the death to the Sakimo tree.
The issue,
and I can agree with you, my brother. I can agree with you.
I'm representing Lofa because I put on the blue. So you got something on me when you said CDC with blue. I changed it. Now CDC got nothing on me now.
Okay.
Yeah, but
Terry, carry your point.
Yeah, so my thing is, I think we need to be a little bit balanced. I believe the media plays a major role in the political landscape of Liberia. Take for example, whether you like it or not, we have the power to instigate more protests in the country. Like you see what happened in going time to the capital. I will also blame the media. All right, I will blame the media, especially one of the biggest media in the country, Spoon TV. They helped to instigate what transpired at the Capitol, So I think we play a major role, and we must not forget that the mantle of authority have been transferred to us in the diaspora, knowing very well that it was the diaspora community of politicians that went to Liberia and removed the late Torbert. They went to Liberia and removed the late Doe. So we are under obligation to not allow history to be repeated. So I think the media need to change their way of presenting in one way or the other, wherein people just become one-sided. Once I support Jawia, I will drive a narrative and make sure that I break another government down because I want for president. We have to come back to power. So we say all the negative, we don't balance the information, we just channel one direction. And that, I believe, could also be a contributing factor to breaking down our society, whether you like it or not. The people in Liberia, they believe in us. They believe that anything we say is factual, is what's supposed to happen, because they think that we have seen a lot. So they expect a lot from us. Our words become almost like a law to them. That is why for decades, the diaspora Liberians have been of a great influence in Liberia, in the Liberian politics. So I think we need to change the narrative so that history cannot be repeated as the way it was in the last 30 years.
All right. Thank you so much. All right. Let me bring in Mr. Akwe, then I'll go to the Liberal Progressive. Okay, James, if you were to call you, thank you so much. You started to lay out something here, which is great here. But 2024 is gone. We are in 2025. But today's war is all about history, the past, and the present, and where we are going as a people. Knowing who you are, your background, should the media be held responsible on some of the things that are happening in Liberia? Are we done enough in terms of having this sort of national discourse to help to drive the country agenda? Where are we falling short?
And so, I mean, in my view, I want the media to be able to do more, and especially when it comes to reporting on the issue of corruption, and because I mean, that's the single most thing that continue to hold the country at the hindmost. And looking at 2024, and I want to see more, especially on the part of the leadership of the country. And I will tell you this much, why, I would digest a little bit and say this much, And serving as one of the editors, like I said earlier, in the newsroom there at the Liberal Broadcasting System. And I one day or one point in time had an opportunity, to have an interview with Vice President Boakai at the time, and this interview was heard at a radio station called Tamatio Call in Foya. Radio Tamatio Call is Foya, is a little place just up the hill. And I was able to put it to him before Charles Neto and all of the other guys. I put it to him at the time. And what is it? We're hearing that you want to be president. What is it? What new is it that you want to bring to this process? What are things probably that are happening now that you technically do not want to see? So he looked me in the face for a long time. He said, James, and we have to be very clear. One, we have to be able to take some real strong actions and decisions. And, it's becoming a cliche to me now, because I always say this, even on Spoon and the rest of it, I always say this. He said, we have to be able to take some strong actions and decisions to move this country forward. We have to be able to take some real strong actions and decisions to be able to move this country forward. And that's exactly what I want to see. That's exactly what I want to see. Because the essence of leadership, the essence of government, it's about, putting smiles on the faces of people, rekindling hopes, aspirations, and dreams, making people much more happier. People sign up when it comes for government and the rest of it, so that our government tend to change, things and make things to look much better. That's why people go to the polls, to see how well, they can effectuate a particular change of leadership. So I want to see more of that. I want to see, stronger actions, and I want to see the media really reporting on and actions and decisions that will be taken in the interest of our people. Because, like I tell some of my colleagues, some friends in government or so, in the end, 2029 or years to come, these are the very people you're going to go back to, maybe to campaign to them and the rest of it. So I always say that election should be much more easier. It should be easier. It should come as a result of what you're going to do in the interest or in the life of the people. Once you do well, once you perform well, it's like sitting in a classroom with one teacher and performing well in that classroom. Definitely, you're going to get passing mark. Always encourage something. Yeah, do well. Yeah, where are coming? Do well, work in the interest of the people, and move the country forward. So I want to see the media being much more forceful, but while being much more forceful, be very fair, be very credible, and report the issues. Irrespective of where the chip definitely will fall, but let it be the very truth. But then also, we should not forget, we live in a place that sometimes people always, these media institutions sometimes are controlled by politicians. Trust me, they're controlled by politicians, and the politicians definitely also have interest. So this is where I come to earlier question that you asked, when you said, people want us to see, because these media institutions are controlled by politicians, and a particular politician may not want or allow certain things to just pass through their outlet or so. So it puts journalists, and reporters in a very squeezed and tight situation, to trust me. And because these guys work, and that's how they get ends meet, to be able to control, to be able to take care of their families. So I want to see good reportage. I want to see and people reporting the fight and the rest of it. But I want to see media institutions definitely not being controlled by politicians. That's what I really want to see, because there where we'll see the balance, the objectivity, and the fairness. Thank you.
Okay, but quickly, just put a quick spin on it, and you are at liberty if you wishes to play this fifth year one. You will be contributing here. I know the schedule been very tight, but you'll be here now and then. And there's a tradition on this network because as we hold other people accountable, we should be held accountable. We do not want to leave our audience in doubt. Who is he? Who is she? What is the position? Now, hearing what I'm hearing, do you have any specific interest in terms of taking a political side? What are you, liberals, or are you going to be the fans of the liberals? Or how is your talking point here? Or you want to just leave us being very apprehensive who you are? Where your ball drives?
And I will be very clear and frank with you, and I will be frank and clear on this one. And I love your question. And Mr. So, I will be very clear with you that I happen to be a Buckeye fanatic, and I won't. Yeah, trust me. I'm a Buckeye fanatic. Yeah, I'm a Buckeye fanatic, and I still believe that though there are challenges now, I want to be very fair. That though there are very serious challenges now, but I still believe that they can be able to pull the trigger.
So because he said he Buckeye fanatic, is that why you're drinking water now, Mr. So?
What's the problem?
Yeah. So I mean, I won't shy away from that. Yeah.
Okay.
I won't shy away from that. I mean, I have a little show that I told you about. One point in time we discussed. I have a show that I run here. But I'm not going to sit here to say, oh, being a Buckeye fanatic or a supporter, I'm not going to hold their feet to the fire. No, I'm not going to say that.
Like I said, already. You
compromise. No, it's okay. So quickly here, I love pushing. So now you give me more room to kind of like position myself. Your question at the time was a valid question. So let's do a flashback. Your questions at the time that you asked.
Why Mr. Sowell want people to say where they're leaning? You can't tell where they're coming from CDC sign on one day.
When you would tell us that you took your Sacramento bath one day now. Well, we know that one already. On uncovered CDC, we know that already.
This is what they try to do to me. They want me to do that. They want me to be part of them, and I'm not prepared to be part of them. Somebody got to stay in the gap to bring that change. But let me ask you, your question to now President Boyka, does it commensurate with his response at the time when you asked that question?
I would say to some extent, I really have not seen, that forceful, response. Though I see some, I saw the president declaring accept one, and I saw the president dismissing Patrick Woolsey at LPR-TV. Then I saw or witnessed the going of the commerce minister. So to some extent, I would say yes, but he has a lot to do and take some very stronger actions, so that people will say yes. I mean, this is the Buckeye we really expected that we'll be able to take those actions, take those strong decisions, to run with ever increasing speed. Things in the interest of the Liberian people.
Okay, thank you so much. Before I go to the Liberal Progressive, let's acknowledge some of our valuable listeners who keep time with us here. Their comments, their tweets are Fatu, happy New Year. Kabinan Fofana, happy New Year. Lafayette Curtis, happy New Year. Ayobat, hopefully I'm calling your name. Bill, good to have you here. Milford Kikula, and of course, Monant, happy New Year. And thank you for your commitment to this network. So I am in the middle of a group of people.
You sure you're in the middle?
I'm in a group of people who will always unleash, and because of my critical stance, and they had to say when somebody is independent. Of course, I am, and I will be. So if I think of recruiting, sometimes by the time I go look, the moves in the directions of the labor. I will see how objective.
See what independent making. Yeah, cool. Did I say pay chicken?
You're not alone, Mr. So you are not alone.
Okay, all right. I got a guy from Connecticut. So good to have you
here. He on the line, right? He on the phone.
Now, John, you're always on the line.
Okay, this is New Year.
Let me thank you.
Let me bring you in here. And again, like I said, I cannot overemphasize what you do here. But let's have we in 2025 here. We want to start holding ourselves responsible in terms of the conversation we keep, our temperament, not just only to national government, but towards our viewers, our listeners. They say things that doesn't suit our political taste, and we create some artificial line. All of that is part of being very, very much it's unfair to the listeners here. But let's come to this here. As we just enrolled into 2025, what do you want to see happening both in the media world and national government?
Thank you, Mr. So I think at this point, first of all, Jim, welcome. Whenever you have time, you join us. Mr. So has an email. So the program here is he and I split time, and hopefully other colleagues of ours here on this platform will try to find a time to do the same for every one of us. But welcome. We're here on this platform. We are not ashamed of who we are. At the same time, your ideas and your argument will be challenged fiercely. There's no question asked, but nothing personal. It's all business. And so, but when you come out and make a statement that we don't agree with, we're going to challenge you. And that's is the discourse, and that is the commitment all of us bring on this table. Mr. So, your question is quite in place. I think one of the bigger challenges we have, those of us that are in this business of running our mouth every day, is, to be honest with you, is the new era of social media. Well, now you have, on top of social media being the way it was before, now you have the AI issue creeping in. Now, the difficult thing here for us is to understand is that our people back home, many of our people back home are not yet sophisticated enough to understand that if something is put out there in the public domain, does not necessarily mean that it's correct. We have to now dissect that process and then bring the information to our viewer as well. So those of us that take this thing seriously, you are considered, for me, you're considered to be like a buffer zone between you and the content creator and the content user. So if you understand your role, I believe the media will do well. Now, as James correctly stated here, most of the media institution in Liberia, from my perspective, I could be wrong, but that these people seem to be in line with the politician themselves. And the politician, they have something to gain. The politician, their interest is for them to succeed. And in order to be successful, they will try to get involved with the media practitioner who's going to write favorably about them, or who's going to say something that favor their position. And that's what they're supposed to do. But those of us that believe in this, I'm a liberal, by the way, those of us who believe in these free thinking, a real free thinker now they quasi free thinker with guy 1 minute they can't out, they call themselves free thinker before you know, they're telling people you don't belong with us, you this and that, not that kinds of free thinker. But those of us who believe in that free thinking spirit must do our best to educate the massive. I think if we do that, the trust of the institution itself, journalism, the institution that is, and the institution of passing on information will be trusted by the people. I think this is what we're going to be come 2025. Now, lastly, Mr. So, with respect to 2025 and this government, I think the idea of the government still thinking that they're going to enjoy honeymoon, those days are over. Well, I will do my best to continue to separate the president ideas and those who are asked to implement those ideas and failing the president miserably. I will continue to point that out. Now, people will say, well, the people who fail in the president, why the president can't get rid of them? That's not my issue. I'm pointing out to you that the president say A, and there are people who's there to seek their own interest will say A plus or will say A minus. That is not the president's fault. Now, why then you will say, why the president not firing them? That's something, it's the father of the nation. He has the ability to make the decision. And one lastly, Mr. So, because the president and President Baka and the rescue team flock you massively, does not mean that you're going or you and your people that you want waiting on the phone right now to come out here and use some languages that are not of good interest to the Liberian people, using languages that do not really describe the father of the nation. Unacceptable to the liberal. I will push back, and I will push back strong. This is 2025. I'm still here. Thank God. God will make me to be here. Thank God. We will push back and push back strong. This president must be, we will demand that this president be respected. Thank you, Mr. Soul.
Okay, I have two of our analysts on the line. Mr. Conto, good to have you. Aliyu, say Happy New Year. David Monin, good to have you. Mr. Slangat, good evening. Happy New Year as well. Okay, on the line here.
Two of them get data problem that they on the phone.
Yeah.
But we just want to know, because we're trying to be transparent, and I want to know which our men get data problem so we can send us on data if they on the phone so we can know. Yeah, asking question.
Okay, when you start talking, then you can ask.
George, we are harmonized their data issues, so they can't come out here.
Wow, this is unbelievable. Okay, so I have here Mr. Wilton Ketat and Dr. Mali Jones is on the line. I'm not thinking.
I put my mom, Dr. Mali, the great thing you were there.
Your co-hosts have finally decided to return.
You will explain yourself. Okay,
here we go.
But Libra, what going on here? You see, Libra, what is happening here?
The Gizzy, the Water Mountain is in the house. We are not here to play around. We're not here to play around.
Wow. I think this is going to be another year.
Where you are,
okay, so let me go to So, Mr. Keto, are you there?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, okay, go ahead quickly, make your point, and I'll go to Dr. Mali. I believe you guys been following the conversation, and that just goes out there. What's your own expectation with national government, and what do you think? You as an analyst here in 2025, what would be your role specifically in making sure we have better Liberia?
So first of all, I would just like to say Happy New Year to all the panelists here. And I'd like to say welcome. This is my first time seeing Brother James on. Follow him. I think he's a journalist. Welcome to LPR. The Libra, it is true. And Brother Sisse, I have no issue with Jetta. I'm driving, and this is what I call him because I heard Terry put up. The Libra came and even put icing on the cake on Terry Tower. That's why I just decided to call him. But when I get to my destination, I will appear live so you can see me. However, I want to say some things here for it to be clear, because in 2025, January 1st, Brother Terry made a statement here that the media broke government before. The media, especially the diaspora, took government out of office before. Two governments he mentioned. And the media has the ability or the capacity to doing this. And so the media we should be careful in the media space. I would tell Terry, no. The media should be forceful. The media is the fourth estate. The government you brought in office with the hope that they will transform and improve the lives of the Liberian people, are still in this first year. You are speaking to the government like Amara Corner said from the very inception of the government, that the Liberian people should manage their expectation. You are telling the media to manage the courage of this government. The media is not doing anything in isolation of this government. What this government put out is exactly what the media is amplifying. And the amplification of what the media is exhibiting is what is giving you people hard time, because you people brought this government on lies to the Liberian people. Unfortunately, it's backfiring in your faces. Unfortunately, for those of us who did not support this government, it's proving us right. And that's the thing you want to understand. And so it's surprising for me to hear you talking about the media. Do you want to censor voices now? Do you want to say to the Liberian media, do not tell the Liberian people that President Walker took microphone and went for national radio station and said they have secured $25 million for scholarship, and it was a fraud? Do you want to tell the Liberian people the media should not carry that courage? Do you want to tell the Liberian people that the president said he signed a gentleman agreement that one of his best friends that he had connection with saw his agenda and said he would bring machinery to the country, and only to find out it was a scam? Do you want to tell the Liberian people that the journalists should not even speak about those things? Do you want to tell the journalists, the Liberian people? Let me tell you now this one. This one is
30 seconds quickly. Let me break in.
2025. We say, what difference this government going to make? The government not going to make any difference. They're going to continue changing. Just today, the ungrateful Mo Ali was on Spoon TV denigrating a certain representative who fought hard to bring this government to office, like he did in one of his posts when he took a United partisan who questioned him about swimming pool, about what the Liberian people that voted up a job program would think about him. He said, well, I don't care about you. He was on Spoon today denigrating us representatives. Can you imagine what we're heading in 2025? I'm still on the line. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And like I said to the other folks, all of you guys, thank you so much for your time, your commitment to this network. We cannot overemphasize on it. Let me bring in Dr. Mali Jones is also on the phone, joining us yet. Dr. Jones, Happy New Year. Good evening. Good to have you. Dr. Jones, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Are you?
Hello?
Yeah. Okay. Good evening. Good to have you here. Okay. So, and like I said, thank you to all of you guys. You have added extraordinary value to this network, and we expect more of that 2025. But we also want to hold ourselves accountable on some of the conversation, things we say, things we talk about here, and how that too also affects other people here. But let me just bring you in here, and that same question rolls out to you, your expectations of this government fiscal year 2025, and you, we ourselves, what should people also expect of us in these national conversations? Dr. Laura Bryan, good to have you. Happy New Year. Blamo Philip, good to have you here. Well, let's hear you, Dr. Mali.
Well, first of all, I want to extend my felicitation to all the panelists being on some short sabbatical, but equally so being with the forum from time to time. I think we are contributing to society directly or indirectly, and our contribution probably they may take effect later during the course of history. But as you read it fully, I think LPR, like the rest of the social media platform, at times we need to revisit ourselves, see ourselves in the rearview mirror, and see where we went wrong and how best we can patch up and move forward. So with LPR, I see LPR to be a vibrant institution coming up, bringing folks together to analyze things from their own perspective. And as an institution, I think there is a need for us to first to consolidate ourselves. Second, to get ourselves more organized from a legitimate standpoint. And third, to revisit our division of responsibility. And lastly, to institute what I call institutional discipline with reference to presentations and how we go about calibrating our programs. And probably we may discuss the details at a later time.
Right.
But until then, I think the door, LPR door is open, and that's the good news. And the panelists are still holding together. That's another good news. And they have been doing what they've been doing best, and that's another good news. So we just need to put some finishing touches and put one or two things here. But with reference to my expectation of the unity-led coalition government, I think there are three things currently undermining or try to kill the spirit of this government. First, people who call themselves fanatic and people who call themselves diehard and the political chorus group, I think they've been doing quite an enormous disservice to His Excellency. Because when we start to
Dr. Mane, speak for yourself. Speak for yourself.
No, something to we can't do that, please.
To people making a proclamation such like the father of the nation. You see, it's that we make our president, we try to create a condition where we embolden our president to become a dictator. We embolden them to violate rules and regulations. We embolden them. We don't see them no longer as leaders. We see them as small gods. I think 2025, we need to go away from these things. His Excellency is the President of the Republic of Liberia, and he should be addressed as such. But when we go beyond that, we are deceiving him. Secondly, he's not the father of Liberia. He is the President of the Republic of Liberia. Because these little statements, I noticed for the African president, they get emboldened and they begin to do some strange things. My next phase of my recommendation is that His Excellency and his coalition will have to be very, very proactive. I see that they just ended year. There were so many unfinished matters. So many of them, we can name them. We don't have the time now. So many unfinished matters. In fact, I was even saddened when the president tried in his little way to legitimize corruption indirectly. It was a sad day for me. You see, he put his government in a very, very difficult position with his statement. You see, and even though His Excellency, former President Weah, with all his garbages that we talk about, he did not make any such statement. And it was very saddening to me. But again, I did not want to crucify the president because some of his utterances will become strange from now on because of his age. He will start to make some strange statements that will be contrary to the foundation and the philosophy for which they want to take this government. You know, the more, age has got some cognitive problems with leaders. The more they get older, the more they make strange statements. Right? Robert Mugabe is on record for that. You see, even here, we see the effects. So I'm very sure, I don't want to conclude, but I'm sure we're going to see a lot of strange statements from His Excellency going forward that will undermine his own government, and we, the masses, we will be the loser in the end.
Okay, quickly
So
here.
finally, a message to those who call themselves diehard and the chorus group and the well-wishers, they need to be very objective and balance their proclamation with objectivity. We know we are the diehard, but equally so, when it is wrong, it is wrong. When it is right, it is right. We are not diehard. We are objective presenters.
Okay.
And we can cannot
Please, please.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
Going forward, I'm very sure we are going to hold the diehard feet to the fire until they realize that we are running politics.
You even get fired. You got stove. Now you hope you feed to wet fire. I beg you, man.
Thank you.
All right.
That's
So,
so
we can do this. One of the things going to be about interruptions of fellow analysts speaking, expressing their view. But quickly here, like I said, we intend not to leave anything to uncover and leave people with apprehension. When you say statement, there are so many statements the president have made in the past. What specifically, which statement are you prefer? So just in case the analysts and other people want to buttress, what specific statement are you making reference to, Dr. Mali?
Let me just play around one sensitive and unacceptable statement the president made in Lofa County when he said, those who continue to be corrupt or who are stealing, when they steal, they should share their booties with the people. So I have that recording. I played it many times. That was the last statement His Excellency made on that podium. And he left the podium. So I began to ask myself, if the president has failed to fight corruption, let me tell the Liberian people that I have failed to fight corruption. But if the
Mr. So,
Yeah, coming. I'm letting to learn, then I'll come to you guys. Just one second.
on the podium to create a clouded atmosphere that those who are in the business of corruption or stealing, when they steal, they should share or they should bless the people. That is quotation right there.
Okay.
They should bless, they should be a blessing to the people.
So, Mr. So, will he remain on the line or he going to leave?
No, he on the line. He will be on the phone. I assume he's going to be on the phone. Okay. I just wanted to make sure you get that point, so we can see statement. All right. Thank you so much. Let's turn to the live forum here to see. I know there's going to be a reaction. Let me come to Sissit. You listen to your fellow analysts. Views, opinions, and some of the trending issue here. I see you walking, moving left. Don't let our flare to fall. So let me get a quick reaction here. Okay, you heard Dr. Jones, you heard Ketot, you heard Akwe as well.
Look, Ketot, this is one of the good things that we have LPR, because if this were some of the other platform where everybody's in the echo chambers, you go and you do your conspiracy theory and you talk your thing there and everybody agree on the same thing, somebody can challenge you and you leave. We have to be careful who we call media in Liberia. There are some people who have a lot of followers on social media and they can post whatever. I've had a likes of Keto sharing things in my inbox. I had to challenge him on the authenticity of that. People share things really fast. In fact, recently, there was a picture that people didn't even check the time, they didn't even care to Google check the picture and see where that picture originated from. It started with a vehicle that belonged to, supposedly belonged to Amos West. Then it went to a market ground picture that supposedly was supposed to be Liberia. It's not even Liberia. And citizens were sharing it everywhere, including the likes of Keto. So it's good that we can come on this platform where NPR offers the opportunity for those people who are unabashed and unashamed conspiracy theorists to state their theory and allow other people to ask them for proof. A welcome Keto should not be in a place to start asking questions about governance in Liberia when you support a failed, an irredeemable failed presidency. You should not. I said irredeemable. You should not, Mr. Keto. Spare us that. There are a lot of people who have their moral high ground to have that conversation. Now you left from supporting a movement that failed the Liberian people to becoming a member of a court. You said you were a weird sin. You took a person over a country. Spare us that, Keto. You can't come here. It's a problem. It's just like to live in echo chambers. Whatever your beliefs should be facts. When people challenge you, now it's an issue. That's how you were winning the election in your chat room when Sekou Kalasco then became statistician, putting a trash map for us, and he was running around with it. Right? You of all people, after Iboma loan, after the hair warehouse that the finally went to China to come build warehouse, ain't get built. After all the grounds you all broke, our land shaking, almost coming get earthquake. You ain't built nothing. Bali Island. Now you can't talk about something right now, Keto. Spare us that. Look, we have to hold this government accountable. But these doomdays naysayers, just because they believe that they see one thing wrong and they need to elevate it, it's a problem, right? I'm a statistician. You got 6 years. You've gone 1 out of 6 years. If you're in a classroom and you're taking a test and there was 6 questions on the test, and maybe you got half of the question correct on the first problem, we should take a paper and say, you already finished failing? Because that is the mindset you guys are going with. And that is wrong. We can hold this government to account, but we shouldn't lie. We shouldn't lie. And Keto, you were in power in Africa for somebody to defeat a certain president in power. And you said they put data on lies. When you had access to all of the government resources, you were using people in the US. You had all of these people with network and platform, all of them were causing us. And you allow an old man with a battery in your head that about to die every day to beat you with lies. That should get you back in your kitchen. We can move Liberia forward, but the way to move Liberia forward is not to lie. And as long as we do not LPR, a lot of us will be here to hold you guys accountable. Joseph Yuma Baka government has some forced fumbles. They did some things they weren't supposed to do. But we can't sit down here and lie and say, based on that, we can project that the next 5 years will be a failure.
Okay.
Okay, so
hold on 1 second. We're going to do it proportionally. And again, let everybody hold their peace as I will speak. I think the line is crowded. The field is crowded as well. So we're going to make it succinct. Let me go to Terry. I just want to do it. I don't want to mix it up. I don't want. Again, I am the only fair guy here, so I'm going to do it the fair way. This is 2025, whether the liberal like it or not. Terry, let me hear your response.
Yeah, I think Cece nailed the whole thing on the head. So I don't know if that 2x4 plank he used, because I don't think he used hammer set. I think, that because, Keto it's not bad. I don't want to dwell on Keto because that is his position. All right. We already know who Keto is. Keto claimed on the network publicly that he's a sedition. So, and you know that a sedition is different from not a sedition, but a reaction is different from a sedition. So a sedition are those who are part of the political institution, supposed to be reputable people who understand the language of politics. But Keto said he's a reaction. So that means that he don't care nothing about what the party say. Anything President Weah say that why he go back. So I understand from his perspective already, and I'm not going to dwell on it. But the truth here is that Thomas O'Malley, the President Weah did say that We are all family people. I read it here. We are family, and it will be hard for you to prosecute people for corruption because we are all connected. We are one way or the other connected, you know. But we see the missteps of President Boka's government. We believe that 2025 could be a good year if President Boka can put his house in order. And we have a president who listens. We have a president that makes steps to fight, to tackle issues, difficulties in his government. So we are definitely hopeful that there will be a great shifting in the 2025 going forward. For me, I'm waiting to see on the second Monday the State of the Nation address. What will the president be saying? What will be the losses and the gains? What will be his vision for 2025? What are they anticipating? Those are the positions that I will be waiting to follow up on, to be all ears to listen to. But as it stands right now, we want to celebrate the new year and celebrate that we have a new institution, a new government, a new and a responsible government in power that understands the issue. When I was speaking to the issue of the media being proportional and balanced, that is what I was talking about, Keto. I didn't say you can't be on your side. I didn't say you can't take a side. But what I mean is that, you can't take a side to the extent of destroying your country that you hope to go one day to. Because guess what? You're in America. And you can say anything and people can destroy the country. You're not there. Your family not there. But you're waiting for the people there to do your bidding for you, to destroy the country. The people supposed to protest. You telling the people, say, oh yeah, the media will be there. The people, so people should motivate and instigate major protests that will lead the country to be in an uprising, whether if Joseph Boga is doing the right thing or not. Right now in the country, as we speak, there have been reported that cars are moving from Monrovia to Maryland in one day. As we speak, cars are going to the southeast as we speak. For 6 years, that was not the case under your leadership. So that's the position.
Thank you so much. I think a little bit disconnected with the Liberal and Akwe who came first, but I'm going to use my judgment. After all, they are all in the same political basket, which is okay. I think they will feel comfortable who goes first. So the Liberal, I see you moving, sitting, looking very uncomfortable, listening to your fellow analysts and strictly watching the tweets while coming on the line. It putting you in a very uncomfortable position. Express yourself. Speak your mind.
Mr. So, this is ridiculous coming from your co-host, soon to be, late to be, not to be, who to be. We don't even know what position he's on now. I'm not too sure if he's still a co-host because I think he's been, the last time I heard that he was fired midnight. So he coming here, coming to advice. So we don't need no advice from Dr. Manley. Please, this is the same man who sat here on this platform and told us he would rather be subjective. Now he coming to talk about objective. Dr. Male, please, we don't need your advices, whatever it is. Keep it to yourself. Talk for yourself. We're not here to come and be a kumbaya. You're talking about say we need to make sure the diehard and the fanatic. Who called us that? We call ourselves that. Leave it with us. How we deal with it. We don't need your advice here on this platform. You come here to analyze, not to be a sucker analyst on this platform. Why make you think, because you're PhD now, you got authority to analyze my brain? No. Far from it. Let's go a little bit. And where are you from anyhow? I send you to Town Grand Gila County and you want to creep your way back to Lufa County. We're not going to accept you. Let me say this here, Mr. So. The 2025. We are here. Let me also back down a little bit on this. I told you here the last time. Those of us that support this government, we are the most critics of this government because we are not afraid to criticize this government when we see it. What we're not ready to do is to apologize to you guys to say, oh, we told you so. No, we owe no apologies. We supported this government, believe in this president, and still do. But if we see something, that's the difference between y'all, the star-massive sedition, and we, the real supporter of President Baka. When we see it, if it's not right, we speak about it. Those of you that will talk, you are a praise singer. You cannot compare yourself with us. You are a praise singer. You sing President Wiatni. Anytime you come on the platform, anytime people call President Wiatni, you come and say some words, then you say, hey, ain't that the same word you use on President Wiatni? What kind of man are you? We can't do that. You are an intelligent person. I know that for a fact. But here, they're different here. When it comes to President Weah, you throw all your intelligent business in the window. You're just like somebody from Town, all your intelligence through the window. But I will help you. We will help you to educate you how a governance system is supposed to be. And this is what President Baka is showing you. Yes, if you come here and talk about the monitor about the word President President Baka used, which he have come back to clarify. The liberals been on this platform over and over, clarifying all of those things. Yes, we are not happy that the word, such words should even be used, but those are the kind that they're happy. So if it happens, and you, when President Weah come out and make some ridiculous mistake and ridiculous statement, he doesn't come back to clarify. We don't even hear from him. But for us, you hear from the president when they make mistake, they say, okay, we're clarifying. This is the transparency that you guys never enjoy. I mean, Mr. So, the liberal is still talking. I got one more second, please, if you don't mind. The liberal is on the floor. This is the difference. You guys were not willing to apologize. You guys were not willing to even make any kinds of statement, and you come on this platform and be so ridiculous. Don't you know who the liberal is? Celebrity liberal. Mr. Walter Carter, you cannot come on this platform and not be challenged. Thank you, Mr. Soul.
Okay, and I'm coming to you, Mr. Akwe. I'm coming to you. And I hope you spoke your mind. When people ready to speak, we will also exercise that tolerance without intruding into it, the liberal progressive. And I will just 2025, I will be more contained. I will listen and see people putting their own.
Mr. So, I don't need, as a moderator, I don't need for you to come and lecture me how when I'm supposed to respond. These are emotions. You can't come on this platform and try to divorce my emotion from the conversation we're having. You cannot contain my emotion. You cannot come here. This is not Gula, Russia Gula for you.
President on New Year's Day, you cannot continue
because you know wear a parliament chief hat, people praising you.
You
can't wear a parliament chief hat, people praising your hat. Now he thinks that you can't have parliament chief hat trying to control my thought here. Mr. So unacceptable.
Okay. Mr. Akwe.
Yeah. So
I'm going to measure, but this is what I experience on the daily basis. We have these talking heads with their emotions, sentiments. They become a little bit sort of nervous when people go down the route they do not expect here. And that is the problem, because then they take a little bit personal. Let's see the liberal, what he's doing here tonight. But let me just bring you in here. You listen to Sisse, you listen to Dr. Mali Keto, the liberal out of his layout, Terry as well. What say you?
Yeah, so I listened to Mr. Keto on the phone. You know, I want to believe that Mr. Keto was somehow harshly, abusing the intelligence of the Liberian people. Mr. Keto is telling us that, I mean, Liberians went to the polls, and they're either foolish and they're either stupid. Look here. When former President Weah went to watch, his son where he stayed about a month, there was a lady in her 60s. And she told me, she said, my son? I said, yes. She said, so the president lead the country for hope more and go? What kind of father going to do that? What kind of man going to do that? This is a lady who has never sat in school before. So Keta and others are telling those people that the decision you made at the bottom bars, you were foolish, you were stupid. But this is something they saw, because they always campaign They always say that fanatic and supporters of Unity Party campaign on the basis of lies. But that was one of the things. So tell me, a lady of that, you think that lady went to the ballot box? How you think she voted? How do you think she voted? She voted precisely on the basis of what she saw. You know, one point in time, I sent a text to Acedo. They're always saying that, oh yes, people campaign on lies, and, you know, misconception and the rest of it. So was that a lie? Was just that another misbelief and the rest of it? No. Today, like my brother Reddy said, those of us who stand today somehow and say we can pull it there for President Bwaka and the rest of it, we don't swallow it all. We don't sit here to say, oh yes, all that they are doing is sweet, rosy, and good, and the rest of it. We try to pinch it in a way to say, hey, you can't do this, you can't do that. Some of us came on Facebook, appeared on radio, and the rest of it. We were not happy about the president's statement when it comes to, I mean, that statement that was made in FOIA. But then you saw the executive mansion coming up to make clarification.
Why you wasn't, Mr. Akwe, why you wasn't?
I coming. You saw the executive mansion coming up to make some statement. There's nothing wrong with people making error. We all make mistakes. We all make errors. But then you saw the clarification coming up. So why is he not running with the clarification? Why is he not accepting that? When his man was president yesterday, when they aired, you ever saw them coming out to say, oh, they're going to make, they're going to make clarification and the rest of it? They let people to, they allow people to run with speculations and the rest of it. And when people begin to speculate, when people begin to think for themselves and attach meanings to statement you make, they are right to their own interpretation. So look, we agree. There are some errors, there are some missteps in the present administration of Wakai, but what do we see? Amen. We see some sincere baby steps in moving the country forward. That's what we see. Yesterday, we saw people angrily moving the country forward. So it's on that basis that Liberians rejected them at the polls. So we are not sitting here to say, oh yeah, and President Bwaka, all that you're saying, I mean, is good. I mean, the leadership of the country is perfect. I can't rate, I mean, the Unity Party 100% today. No, I'm not going to do that. But seditions and weirtions, we have never done that yesterday to Weir. All that Weir did was good. They would never sit there to criticize. They would not do that.
All right. Quickly here, but you made a statement. Let me just follow through before I join the guys on the phone to respond quickly. You said you wasn't happy. Why? With the statement.
About what? The statement? Yeah, I mean, especially when he, I mean, it did not go down well. Look, I am a communicator. When a leader speaks, the words should be clear, precise, and to the point. When you make people to attach interpretations and meanings to what you're going to say, they're going to run with it and make their own interpretation. Robert Greene, in his book, Laws of Human Nature, he made it very clear. Whenever we express things out there, and you know, let it be very clear, let it be very precise. You listen to the likes of Barack Obama and others here in the US. What do you hear? When they speak, it's to the point. And for me, that's how I want my president or my leader to speak. And not acting like, I mean, maybe like if I would say, you know, like one literature teacher where you be using figurative speech and languages and things, and people begin to attach meaning to it, that would not be good. Let the words of the president and the rest of it, because whenever a leader speaks, I mean, you're talking about making policy statement decisions. That's what we're talking about. So let it be clear, precise, and to the point, so that our friend on the other side of the aisle will not sit there to begin to attach meanings, you know, and the rest of it. So that was it. And I love and embrace the clarification that was provided by Kula Fofana and folks there at the executive mansion. And I think my brother Keto should be able to accept that. And later on, you know, he talked about aging and making decisions and the rest of it. I guess he listened to me. Today, his children go to him for advice and the rest of it. Age goes for wisdom. It's common. But yeah, aging goes for wisdom. So this is why you will normally see our children coming to us or we advise our children. But that does not mean that we don't make mistakes, that we don't make error. Of course we do. But our ability to recollect, to say, oh yes, though this may be an error, but let's try to see how well we can make, we can make changes in what we say. I mean, it's very good. And quickly, just before I leave you, I mean, it's 1 year now, the Unity Party, but at least we can see that in 1 year, I mean, the provision of rice and gasoline on the beer market, I mean, correct to this point, not broken, at least for 1 year. And today we see that county development fund. You don't hear superintendents of county complaining today. That's one of the reasons why the late Senator Johnson heavily campaigned against the CDC, because county development fund was not going to those managing and running the affairs of the county. Today, that is not the case, and that's not the situation.
Thank you so much. I'm glad you kind of re-echo what I said, that when leaders speak, they must be clear, they must be precise. But let me go back. So on the phone line, so we'll be wrapping up this crisp 26.
Now, most likely, Mr. James, you most likely will be my co-host, called Deputy Co-host.
You know, fire
Jared. I said deputy co-host. I said deputy co-host.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. I salute you, sir.
Oh my goodness, this guy is ridiculous. Jones, yeah, deputy co-host. There are another majority black coming for Jones.
So, and Terry, you must step out. You nobody can point. Oh, we probably just come up.
I tell you, we just hang you.
So you see, I mean, I'm making my debut appearance, and I've been appointed deputy co-host.
but I do have a question for Mr.
Yeah, let me just go on the line quickly for the phone line. There will be a final statement, then I will come to you guys here. Okay, Dr. Malley, hold your piece. Let me just get the two new callers I've been holding on here to make their point. If you guys can just make it as fast as possible, you can. Let me go to Elvis, and I will come to Mr. Hinnon. Elvis, let's hear you. I think there's a huge one here this evening. So happy New Year, and thank you for all what you do here as well, contributing to this network. We really appreciate your expertise. Let's hear you. You're hearing what is coming out this evening. Are you there, Alice?
Yeah,
not Alice. I mean Elvis. Sorry.
Yeah. I'm here. Let me say a pleasant happy New Year to you and the rest of the panel. You know, I want to also send a shout out to Pat George. I'm thinking about him today. I hope he's doing well.
Yeah, I talked to him today. Yeah.
Happy New Year to you, Pat George. So I just wanted to give my 2 cents on the topic. And it's a new year, so I'm going to try to be measured and not as bombastic as I was last year. But let me say this: with all due respect to Mr. Goya, who is talking about being a statistician, which is a noble profession. He's a smart guy. But from my lay person's understanding of the trend, I know they look at patterns and trends. Your first year assessment of President Boyka's administration, from what we've seen, it's not telling you that he's on an upward trajectory, that he's going to have a tremendous second year. The first year, like the old people, even the country people in the village will tell you, the old adage or the old idiom, you will know by the eve if the Christmas will be good. That phrase is almost telling you about the pattern of watching what happened before to predict what will happen in the future. So if we're looking at the first year of this president and assessing it as reasonable-minded people, we can tell you it was an abysmal first year. Now you can be hopeful, but you can't use the first year as a rubric to try to judge the future years ahead. Because you can, but if you're trying to say that it was a good year and as such more success will come, I don't think that justifies that prediction, because President Boyka, the things that's happened in his first year, some of the catastrophe that we've had in the country, you know, the political gangsterism that we're seeing. Sure, President Weah had a lot of, you know, pitfalls in his presidency, but it was hardly anything that really stopped the country from functioning. It was hardly anything that really made people cry about, you know, the fact that this Christmas, they can't even put food on the table for themselves and their children are out of school in mass. Things are hard, but everything is relative in life. If you're comparing the two things to each other, you can attest that things were slightly better on the President Weah. Physically, things were better on him. You know, so for me, I don't want to be too harsh on the panelists, but let's be honest. When you're talking to Keto in our way, I think it's being, you know, unfair to him, because we are sitting back here. Some of us, we stay on this platform because of the frustration that we see. What's the point of wasting our time to sit here 2 hours, talk, you know, until the veins in our necks are stretching, when nothing is changing in the country, and in fact things are getting worse. So we can't be disingenuous to ourselves and the listening audience by trying to say that President Weah was so bad and President Barker is doing much better. Anybody that has a serious mind will tell you that. Just quantitatively, President Barker has done worse. In his first year, we can be hopeful that he will do better in the second and going forward. But that first year was definitely worse.
Okay.
Than President Weah in the first year. So that's my point.
Thank you
and
so
I think
much.
these guys have to be honest with their assessment and not be too harsh simply because somebody supported former President Weah. We're trying to beat down on him and gang up on him and beating down on him. I think one more suggestion, Mr. So, I mean, even though some of us were seditious or reaction as we like to call ourselves, but if we can be on the show, hopefully you can find other people that might balance out the show, because it's become a one-sided platform. Everybody is on one side. I know you're the independent and more, you know, a balanced person, but outside of you, everybody is a supporter of this government.
Yeah, but Evans, you're not being
So
fair.
you can't interrupt, please. This is New Year.
So maybe we can invite more people.
So what I'm gonna say, and that's part of our job. We are not going to surrender for people to have their way. I think it's better. I think everybody being given a fair share. We opened this year. I don't think nobody.
He had access to the platform again. Come, I think that's cowardice.
Yeah. So and that's what I'm saying. So I don't think we never, and I think that's what I like. Keto is very. Keto, he doesn't care. People can say. I mean, he's willing.
Keto has a 16.
It comes politics, involving politics and taking a definitive side. It comes with a price, and I think Keto is willing. And I think you yourself, you've been doing that. But to say, because people are here, no. We bring people here. I never had a conversation with Mr. Akwe. Akwe, I know he get a lot to also propound on this network. And that's what I ask in the public question. Hey, we need to know. We do not want to leave our guys to do it. So, but thank you so much. Let me go
baby.
Let me go to Mr. Hinent John. Good to have you. Thank you for all of the fun you've been following us, your comments, your tweets, and we say happy New Year. But let's hear you to listen to the gentleman here. Hopefully, you found time for us to have to interface as well. But good to have you here. What's your side of the story?
Thank you, and happy New Year to everyone. I think it's always good to have Mr. To and Mr. So on the show. It makes the show very, very, very interesting. Well, let me start by saying it is unfortunate. I don't want us to waste our time talking about the Josh Weah government. I mean, nowhere on this planet, when it comes to soccer, I can support Josh Weah, but nowhere on this planet that Josh Weah, somebody of Josh Weah quality can become a president. It's very, very unfortunate for our country that this has happened. So I don't want us to keep wasting our time comparing his government with this government. What I would like to encourage us as people who support this government, well, of course, I supported Josh Weah when he took the power for the first 2 years. When I realized that he did not mean well, that's how I stopped support. And I'm going to support this government again for maybe 2 years, 3 years to see. Well, I would like to encourage us to hold this government feet to the fire. I would like to see us being very critical. We have to be very objective in criticizing the government. Well, why am I saying that? I'm saying this to say that our main aim is to make sure that the government succeeds. If the government succeeds, the Liberian people succeed. I'm not happy with the performance of the government for the 1 year. not 100%. There have been a lot of missteps. For example, the issue of the yellow machine, the issue of the Nicotech. We didn't expect that President Walker, with a very vast experience in government, some of these things will be happening at this point. I'm not happy about that. But the fact that he tried to listen, I think it's something worth commending. I would like to see the president, I would like to see the government, taking road construction, not in Monrovia. If you can agree with me, one major reason why Liberia has never been developed is because of the lack of roads. What we want to see, we want to encourage the president, beginning now, this year, we want to see paved road construction going on in the counties, local county in the southeast. I mean, I traveled to the southeast in 2018, and I'm like, wow, if we can have roads going to the southeast in all of the counties there, it's a very, very interesting and very fine environment that can attract tourism. So we should be talking about how we can encourage this government. We are thinking that beginning this year, we're giving the president 2-3 months. We want to see road construction. If not, it would mean going to his bedroom to protest with protest. This president must succeed.
Okay.
And let me comment on the statement about corruption. The president did not in any way attempt to legitimize corruption. Let me give a simple scenario. If John Hina works in government, if John Hina steals money, the money is only for John Hina and his family. It's not there for the general public. The president said the money should be used for the people. If I steal, the money is for myself. So there's no way I can use that money for the people. It's for myself. Simple logic. I mean, you don't expect the president to be, I mean, you would have been more clearer, yes. But his statement did not in any way legitimize corruption. I mean, it's because people have refused to listen to the actuality. That's what affecting us. But I think we think that the president should put in more time. He has to be very proactive. I mean, we didn't bring him to power for any praise singing. He has to do the work. If he can't do the work, then if he has to go, he has to go. Simple as that. Thank you.
All right. So that's the beauty of this network, diversity in terms of views, analysis on critical issue. Always most welcome. Okay, Dr. Malik Jones, and let's make it clear. The Liberal has further conspiracy here suggesting that we fire Malik. It's not true. It's part of the conversation that we are having today, self-interpretation to people whom we are saying things. So, Dr. Malik.
Yes.
You heard the Liberal and his allies, they scrambled over your views, over your opinions, and it get us to this point here. Let's hear you as we are about to wrap out, and we'll continue to have this critical conversation. Who is going wrong? Who is going wrong here?
I think the Liberal and his cohorts are going terribly wrong here. But let them not invest too much time in that. I want to come to the defense of cattle. You see, we as analysts, we travel with a lot of tools in our tools box. A few of those tools that call patterns, trends, projection, and prediction. And we use this thing to play around, and sometimes we make some projection of things. I don't know about other people, but I do my own assessment. And if I realize that, if I come to the conclusion that the failure outweighs the successes, I can make prediction. I can make projection. I can predict. Even the great United States, when elections are going on here, a lot of noise and this, and people make a lot of projection. People make a lot of prediction. And even the issue of pattern is always used in some of the analysis. So I really don't want to see why Qatar is being crucified. I rather see. But I think he was on the right trajectory anyway. And another thing I would like to bring to the panelists is that I think in a much we try to address the issue, but I think we need to also bring some decency to how we approach each other. You know, when we begin to tell fellow panel the lie, you know, I don't know, but I see it to be too extreme. In a much we try to get a message across, but equally so we are mindful, you know, of how we address our fellow panelists. And I'm taken aback with that, and I think probably we can be guarded about that as we move forward. And back to our brother who said the president misspoke. No, the president did not. The president would have gone on a stage and even tell the Liberian people or his audience that going forward, those who will be sacked from government, I will turn them over to the Justice Ministry, and they're going to face the law, and if found guilty, they're going to be sent to Belayala. The president would have made a statement. The president would have said, oh, I've carried a lot of audits, and the outcome is bad, but I'm going to release it because we can't continue to tolerate such attitude in government. The president would have said that. The president would have said there are a whole lot of corruption going on in Lofa County with government leadership or the arm of government in Lofa County. And going forward, I'm going to put my feet down and hold people accountable. He would have said it. The president decided from his heart to say, we want to encourage those who want to remain corrupt and steal money. I beg you all, the money should be used to bless our people. Okay? That's a well-calculated presentation. Those are not error. If it were error, why the president did not even go back to the podium and say, look, I just misspoke. I came to make the correction. That thing came from the president's heart. Everything the executive marshal is providing, they are doing it because they have to defend their paychecks. So I'm not moved by that. It tells me the impact. Do we know what impact the president's statement has on students, future leaders in our country, pending investor, the diplomatic corps?
Wow.
Do you know the impact it has?
So
quick. We're taking it for joke.
Dr. Mali.
Yes, sir.
Quickly here, just for clarity here, you said the president will have said that, but the presidential press secretary, the executive mansion came out. We all frown on that. I was one of these, the liberal here was very much going nuts with this whole thing here and blah, 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 and all of that. But I remain consistent. And the point I was making, that's the same point that Mr. Akwet interpreted. So are you saying the positions of the executive mansion with that clarification is in oscillations without the president acquiescence?
No, it is customary. I expect the executive marshal and even the Minister of Information to come to the defense of the president. But what we are seeing here, logically speaking, that statement came from the heart of the president. The president is in sympathy with corruption in our country.
All right. Okay.
Oh my goodness, Dr. Mali, are you serious? Are you serious?
Liberal.
No, Mr. So we have to put them a check.
No,
you cannot put check to your fellow panelists. Why you do that?
No, that's my job. What do you mean I can't do that?
No, we get on the liberal show that you can put check.
What do you mean they can't put check? So you want to put a fact check people?
We can fact check you right now. Don't worry.
You can't do those kind of things. No. This is unacceptable as well. Liberal, you can have your way here. You have your way on your. In fact, moving forward, 2025, you're not going to have your way on your show, not because of your show. You want to do anything. This person here can't phone. They can't talk. No. These are some of the ills and restrictions you impose and make people to distance from their own government. That is unacceptable. It is ridiculous.
So you're going to rule now with decree? You think that military junta we have here now?
Okay, you will know whether the PROC or WROC. But guys, Dr. Jones, thank you so much. I think we're going to have a successful stay. You can stay there while we want to. Okay, guys. I think we are about to wrap out. And I think Dr. Jones says something, and I think that's something we should do. We shouldn't be preaching one thing and then we want other things to do in terms of the sort of respect and our way we're going to disagree with our fellow panelists. We can't call for ceasefire one side, and the other side we call for the Israeli and Hamas type of way of doing things here. So let's take note of that, and perhaps we take responsibility with not being having meeting, but moving forward, 2025, we'll have some meetings, so have a well-coordinated, respectful conversation, because it's all about Liberia. You guys here, some people were in Liberty Party. What happened? What not happened? They jumped from there. They went to the other party, and here we are. And that's we'll still continue. But also, we're about to wrap up on this day here. If we can use the 2 minutes each to wrap up our arguments and make projections of what we think, what we anticipate, and all of that will be good. Okay, so Sissy, I think I want to reserve you. You were the first. I don't know whether you sent text message before the Laborer and his ally Terry jumped in and all of that. King with Tomo Falash here. Terry got to remind him, he got to run back in your closet to change to Sir Joseph on share. I don't know why he want to change, but that is okay. But Terry, let me start with you here. Are you there, Mr. Collins?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're wrapping up 2025 that they want. Liberia is always expect the unexpected. We don't know what's going to be the next political kickoff in terms of the next conversation that are going to start. But the president going to be speaking to the nation in a couple of weeks. What is your anticipation? What do you expect to you be listening as a supporter of this president? Let me bring him and Koto to Balajalayan. Better late than never. So that's it. Another washing. So somebody said it that way. But that's okay. We don't start. We open it. We say anybody you want to come, you want to represent. Happy New Year. Good to have you. So Terry, you as a supporter of this government, what are you watching? What are you wishing? What is your anticipation in terms of the president's address to the nation? What do you expect to hear from him?
Well, not a whole lot. And a whole lot. So not a whole lot and a whole lot. But to speak really to the issue, and before I go there, is that people keep talking that the Papa is old, the Papa is old. I think it's a privilege for us to have an older person as our leader. From my standpoint and my source of belief, or God called the greatest prophet in the Bible was Moses, and he was 80 years old when God called him. And he the one led the children of Israel through the wilderness into the promised land. And I believe it was because of his age that all factored in when God actually called him. He was selected to rule over Israel from small, but until he reached the age of 80 years old, after taking care of sheep, very experienced, before God called him to lead the children of Israel, and he did that successfully. Even if you look in the Bible, most of the great people who already achieved great things were older guys, like Prophet Samuel. So what I'm saying in a nutshell is that people need to graduate from the mentality, this is not politics, that because the person old, they're not going to lead. Donald Trump is 78 years old. Besides, if what his name, they didn't have those kind of problem, illnesses, Biden, but now Biden will be still leading, and we have seen Biden leadership. In as much as Biden has some little glitches, we see how Biden leading. So, and you Keto, you are benefiting from Biden's leadership. You are enjoying Biden. In fact, you are going to vote for Biden, knowing that Biden was having some glitches. You were still going to vote for Biden because you told us on the network that you are Democrat. You are going to vote for Biden to become president. But you're still saying that, so it shows you that it's out of, you are not honest. That's why I said the lack of patriotism is too much in Liberia, because I support this man. So I will just keep running with him until I bought the wall and fall down somewhere. But I would be expecting, and to Mr. Akwe, and when you use the word fanatic, I have a problem with that. When you say fanatic, yeah, I have a problem with that. Because when you say fanatic, almost like you're saying you are abortion. Jelle Keto say he's a weird. So when you say you're fanatic, you know, you can be balanced and then you're fanatic. No, a fanatic is a one-sided person. You all in, excessive. So, you know, yeah, I think that is the area I had a problem. But I would be expecting for the president to discuss on the issue of, you know, reconciliation, where he is, explaining to the Liberian people where he is in the fight against corruption, the era of persecution and all of that, where the government is in the deliverables concerning his agenda for the country and what he thinks on doing. I am strongly of the strong conviction that President Boyka's government will bring a great result to Liberia before 5 years or 6 years come to an end.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to work within it. That's one of the things we want to stress on, be time sensitive. Okay, Mr. Akwe.
Okay.
Hopefully, I know you give me your schedule, and hopefully we'll keep with our schedule, if possible, to have your set available. I think we need to do, we all have more to do for our country. With respect to what's happening tonight, you have a lot to share with us, and we really appreciate your time here this evening. By the way, what was your first experience LPR? Is it encouraging, or NTR never to return?
Oh yeah, it's very encouraging, very encouraging.
Okay.
And yeah, awesome. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, I'm having a great time. Trust me.
Okay, so we are about to go home, and we're going to be getting to the 2 of 2025, second working official date of the President of the Republic of Liberia. The President is going to be addressing the nation. We don't know where or how. I don't know what the work of going on in capital here. But as a strong supporter of this President, what do you want to speak to, and what do you anticipate hearing from the press, from the chief executive on the date of summit?
Okay, firstly, for me, you know, the Liberia we envisioned, the new Liberia we want, the Liberia we want for our posterity, the Liberia we want for our children, we need to be clear and very clear to individuals we call our friends. About a day or two ago, I was on Mike Japate's show. He usually invites me, and I told him the same thing. We need to be very clear with our friends, with individuals we call our friends. And look here, the issue of corruption. This is one thing that continues to hold our country backward. And as a result of a misappropriation of corruption, and the country, you know, went into war. Nearly 250,000 of Liberians died. And we still see somehow that the cleavages that led to bloodletting atrocities and mass killing, you know, somehow it still continues to run deep. So when it comes to the issue of corruption, we need to be very clear to our friends. Do the right thing. Work in the interest of the people. After all, government is about working in the interest of the people. Once you do the right thing, they'll always put it there again. What do I hope to hear in the President's State of the Nation address? I definitely wish to hear that the President will begin or will highlight the issue, the many challenges his government is faced with. But then he will also be able to tell us, upcoming solutions. And when it comes to making Liberians much more happier. And we want to see an aggressive agenda. And when it comes to the arrest blueprint, because we're talking about roads, we're talking about the rule of law, we're talking about agriculture, we're talking about sanitation, and we're talking about education. So I want to hear that I want to see or hear the President. I want to see that forceful and solutions, and let it be much more pragmatic, and so that our people will see I mean, the dividend of what they did when they went to the polls, to elect and Joseph Imambuakai. So that things, so that make things much more easier for the liberating people. So that's what I will definitely see. Now things are difficult, things are tough, but I want to believe that the many colleagues are saying, I believe that in time to come, there will be that solution to move the country forward. No quick fix. No quick fix after 6 years of storm. Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much. Hold that. Don't go until everybody speak. I know Koto will give you time to digest everything, and then walk about you. I can see the man day by day, so we're not responsible for you coming late. So, welcome, Ketata. You were literally executed politically here by liberals, the liberal and his ally, which is, of course, you are politically strong. You get your bulletproof jacket. They call your name. The liberal call your name. So I did a check here more than 10 times. Wow, unbelievable. Let's hear you. Keto.
Thank you. I would like to say Happy New Year. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, I'd like to say Happy New Year to Sis Koto. Wish you the best. So, first of all, I would like to debunk some of the statement made by my colleagues here. One, Terry, I did not speak about
2 minutes only.
Bwaga age.
What?
I did not speak about President Bwaga age. When I started my conversation, I did not speak about his age, and so I would like to clarify that. Two, I did not speak about President Bwaga failure in 5 years because I'm in his whole 6 years term because he has not gone 6 years. To Brother Sese, I spoke about President Bwaga failing in his first year. He failed miserably, massively in his first year. That's what I said. And I stand by my word. I also said, Terry asking the media to tune down, to be moderate to this government, because the media in the past caused our country to drag to the mud, for better or worse. I am telling Terry, no, the media should hold this government feet to fire. The media should be even more vigorous than before on this government, because the media is only putting out what this government put out. And I made reference to things that my own brother Sisse came back and called me, say I lie about that. And I will ask the CEO to correct me if I lie. Did the president not tell us that he secured $25,000 for scholarship to send 250 students abroad to study on the STEM program? Did I lie about that? Came up and read it to the nation. Did the president not talk about the gentleman agreement for the yellow machine? Did I lie about that? Said it. He wrote the Senate and told the Senate one of his good friends saw his agenda and wanted to help.
Oh, he coming in.
Oh boy.
He broke up.
Now, what can happen when you're not talking too much through the data? You use too much data to not talk true.
But I see the
technology.
Gentlemen,
CDC, again tonight. Well, let's pass on him. Call somebody else. They're not serious. See, this year has never been serious anyway. Call somebody else. Let's move on.
I think liberal. I'm gonna have a regular meeting. Okay. We're not going to accept certain things in the network. Okay, Koto is frozen, and Koto Keto here. All right, I think Koto, you are listening to a lot now. Do you want to Keto back here? All right, Keto, are you back? We're not hearing you. You are muted.
I'm
You are
back. I
muted.
think she said with a cow tail on the table here.
You told me that I thought we were gonna sit in a car off where
You allowed
I
them to
saw
wave their cow tail on you? Wow.
I saw
Okay.
labor do it, but
Okay,
they want me gone back.
Okay, wrap on in one minute. I think you're
Yeah,
already going to wrap on in 1 minute.
so this the thing. I think we should come to this podcast or to this space that we have with sincerity in promoting Liberia. Like I said, I supported President we are in the past, and I have no regret for that. But I come to the place to realize that Liberia is more important than we are. Liberia is more important than even the Bwaga man I said over there. Because we have supported government over and again. And
Are
we
you
see
saying
that
you're not a
government
reaction?
as you see that when a man disturb me, I mean to my meaning, okay.
No, I just asking whether if you have
My
denounced
man,
this
you're
man.
not the moderator, yeah.
I'll know where to take that meaning from.
Yeah, man. Such a distraction.
I'll know what that deductible. I'll know where it comes from. Don't worry. Somebody will see the thing.
But I know where you may take it from. I know.
I'm the board chair. You get the meaning
That
from
four
me.
now. I hope you keeping it, Mr. Moderator. Like 4 people interrupted me. So when we come to this notable platform, we should come with sincerity. We should put Liberia first. For so long, we have been supporting individuals and government that fail the Liberian people. And I stand as an independent to hold any government moving forward feet to fire. We will speak the truth. And I'm not going to fabricate anything here. I'm only holding what this government said they will do for Liberian people. And today, they are contradicting everything. And when I look at people asking me about my past or even questioning the past leadership, I wonder where we thinking, what are we thinking about? Is it not because of our mistake, according to you? It's not because President we are mistake. It's not because President we are ineptitude. It's not because President we are lack of words or don't care attitude or football player mentality that Liberian people voted him out and brought the most seasoned politician in, the man with all the experience that could rescue on day one. It's not because of that. And you're holding us responsible when we come and hold this government feet to fire. You spare me the gossip. I'm here to hold the government foot to fire. Thank you very much.
The march continuing the subsequent broadcast. Koto Jalad Balayant, another Washington from the Garden State of New Jersey. Let's hear, you heard a lot already. What do you anticipate hearing from the president for his son in a couple of weeks?
Well, thank you, Mr. So. And I just want to take this opportunity to tell you guys Happy New Year. It's been since last year I saw you guys. And I'm glad to see you guys this new year. And, we have to praise God because many of us, many people didn't have the opportunity to see this day. For typical example, yesterday I would have been gone, but thank God I'm here today, I was sick and had to spend the whole day in the hospital, and I'm glad to be here because I'm okay to be here. Okay. But I'm just glad because I have the opportunity to be in the midst of you guys, and I'm just happy about that. What do I expect tomorrow for the president to, or let me not say tomorrow, or the expect for the president to, speak about Liberia? I expect that the president will, do better next year because in every setting or every establishment, the beginning is always tough. And I know next year will be a better footing for the president. And I hear people talking about encouraging corruption. This is a wise man telling people to pay heed to whatever intent. If they have that intent, they should be very careful because it might catch up with them. Now, people just talk about being in government and think that's all to it, but your future. Because there are people today we can stay and talk about them, about their past, is because of the life they were involved in. It might not only be this government you will find time in. The next thing you will want to be in a better position, but your corrupt attitude will follow you. I think that's just a hint or a hint to the wise that we always say. The hint to the wise is quite sufficient to warn people who are found in that corrupt act. But again, in comparison. There is no comparison right now for 1 year. For me, I think, because we saw early in 1 year and we saw breakout in 1 year term. I mean, there is a big change in this government. I can say it's not because I supported this president into power. But again, we are some of the people who don't come here and say, and support a government, and then everything that they do, we just say yes, 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 like Kata did. No, I'm not. And we have come here and criticized what the bad side is and the good side is. So that's what some of us are there for, to come and check point some of the things that are wrong for this country. And I will be hoping to see the best for this country. When President Weah was even in power, I never wished for the Western, but I see even sedition today, they're wishing for the West of Liberia. If the Western, let's expect the West scenario, who is going to suffer? It is Liberians that are going to suffer. So let us not, wish think the bad thing about our country. So I just want to say thanks for being with you guys, and I'm glad, to be part of this program tonight.
Okay, and we hope 2025 you will regularize your status, no temporary, no going on leave without official.
When the government, when I go on leave, that I there, I pumping fire in the backing, and when I'm pumping that I there, I keep up and see what the outcome would be like. That's why I do sometimes.
So I your
Because I
program
was
here
pumping my fire, and will not let me talk the way some of the things I want to talk. So some of the things I want to talk, there I go beyond the back door. I start pumping my left fire on that side.
Okay.
Sometimes some things not supposed to be, heard publicly, and sometimes, when you're not supposed to be heard publicly, you go behind the scene and do what you have to do.
You think that you wanted to talk? You talking on ERBC or no?
But when you want to, then people that don't talk, they don't talk that. I mean, it's so bad. That's why I told you I can't work with your government, because I want to talk. Let me talk my thing. Yeah, I gotta be telling people don't say that. Yeah.
Okay, so all right, let me come to my co-host. You're gonna be making a closing statement. I'm gonna allow Liberal to come go in. So okay, the Liberal Progressive. Let's hear you. I mean, tell Marcia, you seem to be the center of gravity here with all your tabata here this evening, 2025. Let's hear you. What do you anticipate hearing from your president?
Thank you, Mr. So. Tomorrow's show on my conversation with Samson too is going to be very, very much blazing, to be honest with you, because we're going to be discussing some serious matter. Look, the president hopefully have reached out to Speaker Kofa to say this is the way we're going. We're going with Richard Cohn, so we don't make a scene at the nation, whatever they call it, because Kofa could step in and say, I want to sit over there. Now you're gonna have the police to come and arrest you, or you're gonna have the blockade. You're making a scene, and it becomes news, and that didn't sit well for the government or for any Liberian for that matter. So I hope the president and his people will reach out to Kofa to see reason, so that Kofa does not, him and his people does not, they don't push themselves to say they must be seated, because that's going to be a very bad scene for all of us. And I will speak on that tomorrow on my show as well. But look, Mr. So, it's a beautiful show. We have a wonderful conversation. And the folks from the other side, they probably don't understand the importance of being truthful, because that's not their cup of tea. Truthful and transparency doesn't fit the narrative of CDC, and so they won't be that. However, before I take leave of you here, I want to thank all of you again for this 2024 and the hard work we all put in here, and the 2025 coming in. Let us redouble our effort. I think many Liberians that are watching, they enjoyed our conversation, and I want to say Happy New Year to Madam Clark and Madam Fatuma. Thank you guys for all of you guys' support. We appreciate it, Breakable, and everyone else. We really, really do appreciate it when you guys show us and just encourage some of us to make sure that we come here every day. Not that we don't get tired, but we're coming every day to have these conversations with you guys. I know you don't agree with us, and then I'll come out here and tell you, and the liberal is not here for Kumbai here. My hate paying you more, you hate paying more. It went back to the 2025. We're going to go ahead and do it and with those kind of conversations. But we respect you. That's one thing for sure. We will continue to respect your view. My Chinese phone is not going anywhere. Don't listen to CEO. The Chinese phone, a guy said Chinese phone. You come on my phone and you call and want to denigrate the president. The Chinese people will call me. Then we give you a phone and I will remind the audience, I got Chinese phone that can go off. And that kinds of phone is not going to go. Because if you come in and want to degrade the father of the nation, listen to Dr. Mali. He's not a father of the nation. Does he understand the role of a father in any community? Does he understand that? Do you have to be the biological parent before you become a father? No. First of all, President Baka is older than every one of us. He could be our father. And then he got to come here. When you're making him father of the nation, then you're making him like a god. Unacceptable. That's when my Chinese phone can take over. Mr. So, beautiful show. Don't come on my show tomorrow. Stay home. Good night. And I will take a leave of you right now. Thank you very much.
No, that would be it.
And I'm going to be on your show tomorrow.
Of course.
That would be a disrespect. People, you listen to other people that listen to you. Why would you want to tell good night?
You know, New Year Day. I got something going. You know that.
Mr. Goya, what's the take-home message and what's at your hopes and aspiration for the Sunan address to the president? And I think the Liberal mentioned something. Do you think they are having that work out? Because, obviously, he's not speaker. He's not being
good trouble.
He conducting any official activity as a speaker, but he's still hanging in there. Do you think they're going to seal this thing all once and for all, or he's still going to go there as another minority black speaker?
I think the wireless speaker, the Alamo speaker, the wire burn. The house DJ Blue is not even using that speaker no more now. So he went to an event where the president was sitting there and he had to go see Richard Cohen sitting down in the seat that he knew to sit down in. I think that we're facing in the back just to save face that. I kept saying that over and over that they should have done that. And people kept saying that this was a legal argument versus understanding that it was a political argument. But before I go that far, look, let me say something here. The last time Elvis came on this network, when he lit his tribal fire and he left. And every time he tries to pretend like he's talking about my education, what I do, to lean into his thing and these cheap shots. Elvis, I do understand statistics. And one data point is not a trend. So go back, do some work, and then come back, let's have that conversation. But look, here's the thing. If you cannot defend your point, and so you run to other network and you're trying to make it look like because people challenge you and the fact check you, so then this network is a problem, that's cowardice. Mr. So has not stopped anybody from being on this network before. As a matter of fact, we've had the likes of Kev Hassan on this network before to come and argue. Mr. So has reached out even during the election, kept saying we need sedition. At one point in time, the president for CDC USA was on this network.
Even Prince.
Right. And so don't come here just because you want to be in an echo chamber where you want to spew things that you cannot defend. And when you come here, we'll hold you accountable. You try to make it look like we're against people, we're ganging up. We don't gang up. It's the idea that gets questioned. And if you can't defend your idea, don't come pretending here that somebody ran you from here. That's just intellectual cowardice, and I'll call you out for that. Having said that, we're here to sit here and say there is political gangsterism going on in Liberia and nothing happened under George Weah. George Weah, 6 years presidency. There was no election here that was not marred by violence. All 6 years. In fact, there was a point in time where the sitting mayor said he was going behind the line for his people. referring to people in Liberia in that election where Teddy Ayure was taking part in. So don't come here and pretend like we've forgotten so easily. And if you want to look at data trend to say the president has failed massively, Mr. Keta, in 1 year time, the president has managed to correct things that LeBron Pope cry about. He dismissed the minister. How many ministers got dismissed when we had administration for even the appearance of malfeasance? He took away the executive director at the repatriation and handed them over for investigation. Right? He didn't want to stop there. When there was a problem in administration at the Liberian immigration system, he removed he suspended without pay the director. He went to what's the thing, LDEA. He removed the 3 taps and conducted investigation. How many happened in 6 years' time? If you want us to project that, pretend like we dare, right? And this thing about when you get redeemed after you leave power, after your people leave power, that's when you're gain consciousness. It's like for some reason you suspend your conscience, you're buried at the Muna Pena Youngblood University, across from Lone Star Network, under the tree. You just went there after election to dig out your brains, then, but now you got conscience and we should listen to you. I did not tell you not to hold this government accountable, but I'm telling you, you, Keta, a courtist, you should spare us for now to hold this government accountable. Now somebody who said that you take an individual over a country simply because you realize now that you took a wrong path, all of a sudden you are redeemed. So before you become poor, allow us who have been living while you were sore to enjoy our time before you become poor.
Mr. Sote to take that word, I'm not a courtist.
Oh, you want to be so angry? Having said that, to my brother, Mr. Mali, I've been trying not to talk about this president's speech, but I know we have a pastor on here. I know you, Mr. Mali, you're also a deacon. John 11:35, Jesus wept. That is it. John 11:35, Jesus wept. In order for you to know why Jesus wept, to know the context, you go back to John 11:32. And when Mary reached the place where Jesus was and saw him, she fell at his feet and said, Lord, if you had been here, my brother would not have died. That is the context. So when the president spoke, go back to the context. Again, I agree with Mr. Akwe and I agree with Mr. So when he said, when you are in leadership, you do not allow for vacuum when you speak, because things will fill their space. But for us who are intellectuals to come here and pretend like we are preaching John 11:35 and we're not going back to 32 to put that in context, I think it's a shame. I'm hoping to listen to the President of the Republic of Liberia to spell out what has happened with the arrest agenda. What is the focus going forward? What can Liberians look forward to? Your Minister of Education did a tour. What is the plan for the E in the rest? What is the plan for agriculture? You up the budget for agriculture, but it's still not enough. What is the plan for mechanizing agriculture? How are we looking into making sure that we have food security? Because food security is national security. How are we looking to ensure that the thing that happened with that bridge, where doesn't happen anymore? Those are the things I'm trying to see. How are we moving forward? Where we are going to go? Now these people that come here all of a sudden that gained their conscience, that went back to the sycamore tree and dug out their conscience because they lost an election.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. What a night. Okay, Waltz.
The man took a shot at me. Can I respond in 2 seconds?
We don't have time. We don't do that on LPR. We don't have time.
Liberal, when the independent speaking, you got no
there's
right
no independent here. Good night. We got some of us.
Liberal, I have to join you tomorrow, Liberal.
Oh yeah, definitely. You will. You will.
Guys, the program not over here. We have to listen to Dr. Mallis.
Oh no.
Oh,
no, we can't. I mean, the show is
wow.
over.
So the co-host has returned.
What co-host? In the background?
The program is still in progress.
I gotta listen to the co-host.
Yes.
Okay.
You see, I don't know whether fellow panelists want to dethrone this co-host status. I don't understand.
You're wasting their time.
And this 2025, If it means that I will have to appeal to the CEO to advertise this position, I think I will have to do that, because just calling my name, primarily attending the platform in a chaotic fashion, that's sad. But anyway, let's look at the issue of context. You see, context is not a straight jacket thing. My context may not be your context. The executive marshal context in self-defense may not be mine. Statement was made. It was not made by error. If this statement is not corrected in the
we have an independent context.
Liberal, please. Liberal, this is unacceptable. Please.
Liberal, if you want this job, let me know. I'm prepared to relinquish it.
Don't mind. Who would have taken?
You see, and to be in the office, you got to fortify yourself, Liberal. However, if the president will be presenting his statement tomorrow, and he come in that statement and say, look, when I was in Lofa, I made this statement, but I misspoke. Trust me, I got no problem with the president. I will withdraw my statement. All right? So the context in which that statement was made, it was based on my own, it was based on my own analysis. I came up with my conclusion. So I cannot force the context in which I saw this statement on anybody on the platform tonight. No, it's not possible. We all have different lenses and seeing things differently and doing different analysis. That one. Two, Libra just brought about something very important here about the speaker, that the president should talk to him and we don't want disturbance. I don't think we should be going that way. The former speaker should know that this thing is foregone conclusion. Any attempt to cross the Rubicon, he may be declared as a political rebel and he could be treated as such. So it behooves all Labour and the rest of us, you're the supporters, to tell him not to disturb the president's deliberation. Thank you, CEO.
Okay, what a great.
You say what the man calls what?
CEO. Let me make a disclaimer around this show tonight.
Context.
I want to make a disclaimer on this show tonight.
Well, you're gonna,
for the last statement the co-host made. For the last statement the co-host made, I distanced myself from independence. About the speaker.
Okay.
But that's the alternative context.
There's a split. I see a split in the camera right there.
What you say, Ketra?
I said from the last statement he made concerning the speaker, call the speaker a rebel speaker, I distanced myself from him as independent. Just from the last statement.
Independence. Now, independent.
All right. Look,
happy holidays,
again, for those of you who were here from the start off, I want to thank all of you so much. The analysts,
Mr. So, please, you have to give me some latitude here because I'm the board chair. So let me say this one last time to all of you. Seriously, happy holiday, and I thank all of you because without your support, and so many times. Terry had come to my rescue. Sometimes when you come out here and the panelists are not showing up and you alone on here, of course you can talk, but it doesn't become much interesting as it is when you have other panelists who show up. And so for some of us who got big mouth, sometimes I put my foot in my mouth, but at the same time, when Terry comes in and rescue, then it's a true rescue train. I want to thank him for that. Also, Walter Carter, thank you for your understanding. Yeah, we put here and there, we joke in there, but you're already look at your background. You got how many people holding gun on LPR? The background on LPR, how many people holding gun? What is that? But I want to thank you very much, and I appreciate the fact that you don't run away. You stay here, and we're here together. It makes the show interesting.
But Labor, can I ask a question real quick?
Yeah, go ahead. Mr. So, the board chair is on the board. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Do you have the Chinese phone activated in 2025?
But depends. It depends when people call in and try to denigrate. Anybody call in and you try to degrade the president, the Chinese phone will take effect. Thank you very much.
All right, again, I want to thank all of you. We hope the 2025, those who still in their own share and in their own world and think Liberia is their own, is their property, then of course, we hope those Chinese phones will be deactivated. We hope the Chinese government, if it's required for us to talk to the Chinese authority to withdraw their services from these illegal hands, will do that so that Liberia will have their own saying about their country. But look,
my own phone, you're going to call illegal hand, Mr. So?
Mr. Boya, Mr. Collins, Akwe, Ketot, again, thank you guys so much. I think we have a lot to do for our country, for the good of our country, and we do appreciate sitting here 2-3 hours every day, man. It's huge. And of course, to the audience, in the most disciplined audience, they argue, they exchange. And this year, I will be more contained. I will listen to you guys. You will say all you say, and the viewer will be the judgment. And some of the ridiculous people here, like those who want to be operating, want to be in America and do business with the Chinese, to have people try to.
I beg you, don't start Donald Trump, then start.
You already 26 and you already.
I know. But
I'm wondering here, knowing who James Akwe is, a strong advocate of democracy, to have the communist Chinese people
good
here.
night, Mr. So.
To be operating. To be operating that.
I want to see how objective Mr. Akwe gonna be when he already finished taking SAR. And Sese is just loving it. He's just loving it.
But I think, look, my brother, look.
You have a pleasant night. We can really get this conversation.
My brother,
we bring out by 2029.
So my Terry, Sese, Mr. Akwe, thank you so much.
Good night, man.
Good night, gentlemen.
Okay, that's it this evening, and because the conversation was so tense, we didn't play some of our commercials here, but let's do this here. One of our own legendary journalists who formerly worked for ELW8 and contributor on the side with ELWA, ERBC, and I was also contributing on LPR here. Mr. James Gumiant, if you remember those days, James Gumiant was stationed ELWA. Older son passed away in New Jersey. The funeral rites will be this coming Saturday in New Jersey. Liberia Public Radio crew, Mazola, going to be there to bring you live happenings that Mr. Jacob W. Gumiant will be laid to rest in the Garden City of New Jersey. The city here is Milburn. Milburn, New Jersey. If you are within that area, you can also find time. It's going to be a healthy weekend. And of course, right here in my own ocean state of Rhode Island, Liberia Public Radio will be bringing live home government celebration of Deacon Rufus Vanny Kennedy. Interestingly, that's we used to live in the same neighborhood in Liberia, Gaytown, as a matter of fact. At Rufus Kennedy, Deacon Rufus Kennedy, who passed away here, will be laid to rest right here in the ocean state of Rhode Island. Right here, the funeral will be at Wakekeeping this Friday and we will be having, we will be there as well. Liberia Public Radio crew in Liberia will be in Gaeta, and they're going to be having they're going to relay that the family going to be watching it live. Also, it's just also Mamirasaki memorial funeral rites will be held in Liberia. LPR other crew going to be there to bring you. So Saturday just going to be, you're going to see different live links from different local. This one funeral rite will be held at the Free Pentecostal Global International Church, Red Light, Painesville, Monrovia. And our understanding will be laid to rest in Burrowville, in the West African state of the Republic of Liberia. We want to say thank you so much. I saw someone here joining us this early morning, our own man, Garrison Tobert, one of the founding members of the Liberia Public Radio, in fact, served as the board of his group before moving into Liberia. Mr. Garrison Tobert, we say good morning and say happy New Year to you, to all of our viewers and listeners. If this is the first time, this is the Liberia Public Radio. I want to thank you so much for the year 2024. And as we all move into 2025, we expect more of you. Hopefully this year will be coming to your doors. For those of you that we know, we recognize, we'll be sending you special messages. But like I said, we do not want to make sure that's something before we can reach for help, not just want to ask for help without being illustrative as to what we want to do with that money. So that is our goal. We want to thank you so much. By God's willing, John the Libra tomorrow for his regular programs. This note, we're going to leave you with this beautiful gospel song from Minister Alice Nuance. It's a Liberian gospel artist based in Des Moines, Iowa. That God took the load out of our head already. The load of lies, cheating, corruption, dishonesty, and everything. So why now we just surrounded? Thank you so much and have a pleasant evening. Bye-bye. I swear.